Schmeckle is doomed, and here is what remains. Welcome to the cunt stream.
Brought to you with Trippy Poo, Manus Deacon, Brockus, myself, and mysteriously disappeared Schmeckle, just like any other cunt stream. Ooga fucking ooga. So, chicken, predominantly buffalo wings. What do you guys think of them?
Well, I think buffalo wings are fucking awesome.
Yee. Trippy?
So, I don't know.
Oh, I like the ones from Buffalo Wild Wings, the really hot ones. Yeah, the fuckers are good.
I really like the ones from Hooters.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
All right.
Brockus, when you get a moment to unmute yourself, you can tell us your favorite hot wings or buffalo wings. I don't like them hot. I gotta say, I prefer teriyaki.
Okay.
How about
you? Oh, I used to get the blazing sauce.
Really?
Them fuckers that would put you in like a death sweat.
Death sweat?
Like you'd sit there and you're just fucking dripping from your eyebrows and your forehead, and you're like, "Oh, these are pretty good." I don't know how dehydrated I am, but it's tasty.
You're sitting there eating the hot wings, sweating like a sinner in church. Going, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then the waitress comes over and she's super hot, and she's like, "Hey, is everything good?" And you're like, "Yep, fine."
You're like, "No, please don't let me embarrass myself." And just sweating profusely at this hot chicken. Hey, yeah, no, things are good.
Mm-hmm. She walks up all close and just watches you drip and sweat right into your food.
It's like,
you're like, yeah, okay.
Sir, do you want a bucket?
I'm not gross at all.
No. Oh no!
She's like, you want some napkins to wipe your face off? What am I sweating? Oh, this is nothing.
I've never had that experience in my life. There was only one time I ever ate spicy food when I was out and about. So I can't fucking stand spicy food. I'm just too sensitive for that. I had nachos with some jalapeno peppers on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the jalapeno peppers off, thinking, yeah, okay, can't have it. Juice is still on there. Oh god, like a pansy. I'm like, oh god, I'm dying.
Yeah, capsaicin likes to spread that shit. Like I've made stuffed peppers before, jalapeno peppers,
right?
With cream cheese and you wrap bacon around them. And I didn't wear gloves when I was preparing them, and I got that shit all in my skin.
Okay, I think I'm actually back now.
Nice.
Oh, okay, good.
And I think I'm not totally sure. I can't be positive yet, but I think that the Magnus soundboard is live. So without further ado,
let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Nice.
I like that. That's awesome. What was that from?
That's Mako from the beginning of Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, okay.
Where my mind went. I was just thinking that sounds like some shit from an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or something. That's kind of... I was in the range, damn it.
I will try to keep these to a minimum just because, I don't need to be playing with this too much, but there you go.
Talk only through it.
Talk only. Oh, so wait, you seriously want to hear this shit through the whole stream?
Never listen to Trippy. He's just saying, no, it's okay. It's okay with you.
Well, no, I mean, you did. I'm trying to figure out when in the hell I would need to respond to something with.
I was frequently shaved against my will by Michael Jackson's monkey.
Nice.
I don't know the range that you have on that soundboard, but I guess it's good you have it on hold. God damn.
I've got it here with all kinds of stupid shit queued up.
Oh my god.
But so now, what's the topic of the night? Because I kind of dipped out for a minute there.
All right. Well, Marcus has that stuff queued up, but he's muted himself. So we're gonna dance around the subject, and we're talking about hot sauce and spicy food.
Hot sauce.
Predominantly with like say hot wings.
Yeah.
Or buffalo wings. Do you usually get hot or
that sounds like a very wild subject.
Well, you sound like a spicy food fan. Are you a
I
spicy
am.
food fan? Yeah. Me too.
Schmeckel here? He's not here, but he used to be a spicy food kind of guy, and then he had this really hot sauce, this really terrible
Habanero.
stuff. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And
I
he
think he said it was habanero death sauce is what it was called.
yeah, and then he started developing ulcers. So I'm like, yeah, no, you're not having that anymore.
Oh no! See, you guys are sitting around here with me, like the one guy who every fucking weekend, and I'm talking every weekend, I would go to Hooters for the 3 Mile Island hot wings. This was every Friday night in my youth. And then I would spend every Saturday morning swearing to any god that would listen that I will never do it again. Just make my butthole quit burning. And then the very next weekend, I'd be back doing it again.
Didn't learn your lesson the first time, huh?
No, I didn't learn my lesson the 500th time either.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Well, that's your own fault there.
Yeah, no, it's just I love the hot wings because if you give me spicy food that has flavor, there's where the magic happens.
Hell yeah, dude.
Because flavor is like my ultimate weakness. Just hands down.
Hot shit that's just hot. What's the purpose? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point?
Well,
you're just sitting there burning your mouth out, and you're like, I don't taste anything.
Yeah, there's not really a point to it as far as I'm concerned. It's like, yeah, well, whoop de fucking do, you know. There's nothing really. I guess the best way to put it is there's nothing to enjoy. If it's just hot, because that was the one thing I really fucking hated about being in the Boy Scouts way back in the day, because that was kind of what these guys did. That was like their whole thing was, let's just make shit spicy and no other redeeming qualities, just spicy. And that's it. That's all there was to it. It's like, guys, could we have something resembling flavor maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, I could see how that would be a factor. I was saying to Trippy earlier, I can't do spicy. I just can't. It just doesn't sit with me at all. So,
well, if you do spicy, you're not going to sit at all.
No.
Right. Hey, you better be careful, dude. You said you're going to Mexico?
Yeah, I'll be going to Mexico soon. So
you realize spicy food is why I walked bow-legged for 3 years. I'm talking. Clint Eastwood would have given me the cocked eyebrow.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to be careful if I travel somewhere tropical like that. Hopefully, I can get something like some fruit instead.
I could have made the bathroom a church for fuck's sake, dude. You just hear me in the bathroom between screams, just
the almighty Bangolio, Bangolio, the almighty Bangolio, Bangolio.
Speaking of bungholes and bathrooms, I just took a fat fucking shit.
You're welcome.
I walked away from the computer. On my way back, I swear to God, I think I farted and crop dusted in my house more times than I ever have in the entire time I've lived here.
Did you kill any pets or loved ones?
I may have knocked somebody out.
A couple of spiders fell from the ceiling, you know.
Was the rat? Wait. So was it like the last time I took a really good dump where the wallpaper's cracking, the ceiling's just caving in, and there's a rat in the corner going, "Oh God, my eyes!"
Fucking toilet paper's ripped off the wall.
No, the toilet paper just wilted.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe.
There's that good possibility of that.
You ever take one of those shits where you stand up, you wipe, you're like, damn, that's a lot. And then you look in the toilet, you're like, what the fuck? I could have sworn I pushed out a couple turds.
I could have sworn I gave birth to triplets.
Right. I think George Carlin used to call it the ghost shit.
Ghost shit.
Like, where did it all go?
just be glad you've never done the Lincoln log. Ooh.
Oh, what's that one?
That's one that's also called the spinal tap dump, because when you're done, you swear to God you just crippled yourself.
Fair enough. No, but while I was taking a shit, I was looking for orc stuff for references and drawings and shit like that. Right. And I came across this fucking hilarious comic strip that is daily life of an orc and elf or some shit like that.
Oh, let me guess. The elf was trying to get on with the orc, and the orc just wasn't having it.
The orc knows exactly what the elf is doing, but like the orc is just unamused and consistently turning down the elf, who's just this hyper-sexualized virgin elf who's trying to get just ravaged by this orc or gangbanged by his friends. And I'm laughing because I'm like, I swear to God, this looks like how things were with me and Opal in the beginning.
Oh, God.
She would say things to try to make me feel uncomfortable, and they were very hypersexual things from time to time. And I'm just like, no, that's not happening.
Oh, did you hear her in the earlier stream?
No, I didn't.
We had we had Robert Como and Opal in here reading a chat log from a guy that was on To Catch a Predator and a chick who was supposed to be 13. Lauren Armstrong, if you guys have ever heard of him.
No, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Rob had to talk about him and Opal in a bubble bath and how her hand would have to be on his penis and his hand would have to be on her butt, just because that's how much room was in the bathtub.
Now I have to wonder, who was more uncomfortable, Opal or Rob, with that particular reading?
Well,
why, you know what? That
because it's like, okay,
I can't. I'm thinking about Opal, Miss Sweet Toy herself, and some dude in the bath. Your hand would have to be on my penis. Well, let me just cue the music.
Yeah. Sexy in here.
Getting sexy in the bathtub with the Sweet Toy.
We need to have Magnus on more often because he has a soundboard.
dude, I've got like over 100 sounds. I haven't even gotten them all on here. I've been going kind of crazy with it.
Fucking fabulous. No, but I have to ask, who was more uncomfortable? Because it's like Rob knows that it's Opal, which he knows is an adult, but sounds like a child, is reading the part of a so-called 13-year-old, and Rob has to play the part of the guy trying to seduce the 13-year-old. Yep. And then there's Opal, who has to pretend that Rob is seducing her while being a 13-year-old, knowing fully well she's an adult. So it's one of those things where it's like, who's more uncomfortable, Rob or Opal? Because Opal has to play into the kid fantasy and pull it off, while Rob has to actually try to seduce Opal in the kid fantasy.
And at what point in the show does Chris Hansen show up and just put the kibosh on the whole fucking thing?
That's what was so fucking funny. As Opal was doing this fucking thing, somebody knocked on her door and she had to get up and go check. It did happen twice.
That's really excellent. Like, I swear to God, I got to go back and watch it because I was not watching it, unfortunately.
Well, I know exactly what happened when that person knocked on the door.
Nope.
Ma'am, is he hurting you? What? He's not even here. Oh shit. All right. False alarm, I guess.
What
Oh, we were
the
just waiting for the knock on Rob's door, you know. It was like, that would have been great.
Well,
We seem weird.
Opal accused me of being mean to her, and I'm like, okay.
Well, how could you not be? I mean, shit.
She's a squeak toy. It's kind of required.
Oh, God. When she's in the middle of having sex and you just hear...
Oh,
It'd be worse if she giggles.
You're gonna give me nightmares. Stop.
Oh, you should have heard the stream the other day we had Magog. I kept trying to say Magnus because I'm looking at your text. You weren't on here the other day. You're not a wizard.
Yeah, no, technically I kind of am. I mean, I drive a truck for a living, but not that kind of wizard. No.
Oh my God! Speaking of the devil, she will.
Speaking of my wifey.
Speaking of which, you know what? Now you guys have gotten me want to go over to Magog's channel and swipe a sound clip of him going, "This vexes me."
Yeah.
I need that. Damn it. Okay, so recently, to I guess piss off a Gluck, Zell clipped from a stream various different a Gluck phrases, I guess. I put them and made essentially soundbite videos that you can play as soundbites and shit like that. But that got me realizing I need more of these. I need a bunch of different YouTube phrases from different streams and videos and shit. Like, I need Magog. This vexes me and does not words right.
Ass rape. Ass rape. You know, Brockus, if Opal's your waifu, you know that body pillow would be entirely too small for you.
PewDiePie.
Hey, Opal.
What's up?
You should send her that comic you found.
You know what? I probably should send her this because this is fucking hilarious.
Oh, these guys are trying to convince me that you're a pervert and not a squeak toy.
I don't know. Can I be both?
Oh,
no, you can only pick one.
That seems like a weird
perverted squeak toy.
The hot new dog toy, the perverted squeak toy. Well,
something tells me if someone were to try and squeeze on you might die.
I'm just imagining the whole thing with Rob and Opal we were talking about earlier. And
it was.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've got me doing.
It was so uncomfortable.
So we got
uncomfortable.
One of Opal's favorite people in the chat, AP. I'm pretty sure Gulf City Streaming. It says Opal is every girl I have ever met from Oak Forest / Spring Branch, and by that I mean Mexican.
I did want to say to AP, since he's in the chat there, I finally finished Cobra Kai, and I love it. That show's amazing.
Fuck yeah, Cobra Kai! Fuck! The shit is amazing. I love that show. God damn it.
It's just a shame it's on YouTube Red, and we're already going to get like 2 new seasons. I'm like, fuck.
So Brockus has the changes on these.
That is worth a monthly $10 fee. Luckily, they're not going to get $10 out of me. Now.
Yeah, there's other ways. It's just maybe if
Poor
they had...
Baracus doesn't have money.
Yes, that is true.
You should give him money.
Oh God! Well, Brockus, I hate to toot my own horn, but just for the hell of it. Me personally, I have like shit to. But you know, it's the funniest thing. I've discovered that. You know, like you guys knew I was an owner operator truck driver, right?
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm no longer an owner-operator, apparently being a company schmuck is a shit ton lot more lucrative than fucking being
really?
an owner. Yeah. Dude, I just pulled my paycheck off the ATMs. I had to go 3 times because they only let you pull 400 in a clip.
Nice. Well, good for you, man. Shit.
I'm glad somebody's doing well.
You should donate to. Fuck it, I'm on here. The cunt stream.
Very true. Yeah.
I'm rather happy I made a sale and I got $5 for being pedo bait.
What the fuck?
Pedo
What
bait.
the fuck?
How's that work?
That's a job I would never have pegged you for.
We need a dun dun dun.
I don't know how to feel about this. She got $5 for being pedo bait.
Yeah, for reading those lines.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because she was so distraught while reading that. She was like, "Somebody give me money. I feel like I should be paid for this."
I feel like I was so uncomfortable. If I'm that uncomfortable, I have put urethras into people with less uncomfortableness than that.
Well, that's because it turned you on.
No, it was an old person. It was
Don't
very
you backpedal
gross.
now.
It was very gross. Urethras are not the same thing.
Yeah,
But since we got AP in the chat, I just want to go ahead and say, Fry Power, all hail Blue Whale.
All hail Blue Whale.
oh, a blue whale.
Religion is a cult.
This is not a cult. I will tell you that right now.
Snuggles, on the other hand, that's a potential cult in the making. But
Yay!
Fried supremacy is the right supremacy. And by the way, that is golf-gear.com for all your Gold City
Why
needs.
would you advertise my shit, dude?
Everybody always does that. I advertise the shit out of Gold City's products everywhere I go. And every time I do that, somebody's like, "Why don't you advertise my stuff?" You're not Gold City.
Yeah, I thought I mean, I'm a little offended. I thought I was supposed to be your waifu.
I'm sorry. Yes,
You're a little offended. Well, you are a little short.
Oh.
But I do have to say that Opal does have some really kick-ass designs for her T-shirts and such at her store. I do recommend people go over there and check them out. My personal favorite has got to be the goat skull on the. I want to say it's a pentagram, but it's not.
It's not technically a pentagram.
Yeah, it's just some sort of like I guess circle.
Cool. It's a cool design.
It actually is.
I also got an X-ray of my skull, so if you guys want to drink out of my skull, I have an X-ray of my skull on a mug.
It's not technically your skull. It is a X-ray of your teeth / mandible. So
and my
lower jaw.
jaw, my jaw is there.
Your jaw is your mandible.
And
Yeah.
Oh damn
Rock
it!
is
Yeah,
set.
I took anatomy like 3 times. Why didn't I know that?
Yeah, my buddy Pipple last night was like, "I don't know what's up with Opal in this skull, but it looks fucking sweet on this mug."
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
did you guys see
My
the
cheekbone
thing
was in there
that
too.
did you guys see the thing that Ren and Igor were talking about the other day, where vegans are all pissed off that people are putting fruits in little like watermelons and shit in these little, like, I guess you could call them molds, so that as the fruit grows, it's like apples that are heart shaped and watermelons that look like skulls.
Cool.
I sat there and I was like, well, wait till Halloween rolls around and put your pumpkins in that skull thing. That would be fucking metal.
Man.
Oh yeah.
A skull apple would be so cool. And then you dip it in chocolate, like white chocolate for Halloween.
Well, that's
No. What you do for Halloween is you peel onions and then dip them in caramel and put them on a stick and then drop them in the kids' bags.
I don't get it.
They think they're getting something sweet, and they end up getting something.
Yeah,
bitter.
well, they figure it out when they take a bite of that
Fucking caramel.
We had a family friend that took ice, or what he did was he got a bunch of like balls of ice, and he wrapped them up in tinfoil and he stuck them in his deep freezer and handed those out to the kids for Halloween.
Just ice?
Yeah. So
Why
that as
would
they're
you be
walking
so
around,
mean?
they go home, they got a bag full of fucking water and melted chocolate.
Hey,
What?
trick or treat. That's the catchphrase you live
Why
by.
would you be so mean?
It's
Because we can.
Tell me it's not funny though, Opal. Come on.
No, it's not. You don't fuck with kids. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a mom now.
yeah. It's because you're a mom. Also, it's Halloween. You're supposed to do something like that. It's
I
called
don't
trick or
know.
treat.
Everybody's like super nice to my son on Halloween. They gave him a hot dog and they're like, "Oh, here, have all of our candy." Oh, I guess his costume was really cool.
A
Yeah.
hot dog for Halloween?
Yeah, they're like, oh, do you want a hot dog? Yeah, okay. Like, here's a hot dog. Here's some candy.
No, you don't give a kid a fucking hot dog on Halloween. The fuck is wrong with you people?
They were barbecuing, and they're like, oh, here, just have an entire pack of Oreos. It was a good haul on Halloween.
We had a dude that every Halloween he would sit out on his front porch and he'd have like a shit ton of cans of beer, and that was for the parents. And then he'd give the kids a couple pieces of candy. And you'd come up to him and he'd be like, "Hey, look, you've probably been walking around all day. You want a beer?"
They just gave me oh man, they gave me a soda. They gave all the other parents beer.
Well, you know, Opal,
He's like, you go to jail for giving you beer.
You do look like your kid's older sister and not his mom.
Damn it!
Here, have a Coke.
I could have had my first beer.
Well, okay then.
Well, to be fair, I mean, your kid was still pretty young. Maybe they were thinking you were still breastfeeding.
I guess. I don't know. Some moms drink beer when they breastfeed.
Yeah, and those are bad moms.
Yeah, those are bad parents.
Some moms' breast milk is beer.
I confronted one mom about it. She's like, well, if I have half a beer, it makes me make more milk. And I'm like, I don't think that's right.
No, it's not.
I don't want to judge you, but I don't think that's right.
Well, okay. I'm just imagining the kid, like, you know, takes a sip of that delicious breast milk, spits it out, and goes, "Mom, seriously, Pabst Blue Ribbon? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Right.
Like, I don't like to judge other moms. I get judged a lot, so like.
Yeah, but you get judged for other things.
I don't think that was specifically right.
So Tennessee Marina went ahead and actually put in the chat the golf-gear.com link. Go ahead and click on that and buy some golf gear stuff. But I also put into the chat Opal's merch store. Didn't know that Opal had Twitter specifically for her merch store, as well as the More Scar GoFundMe to bring More Scar to life.
Yeah, More Scar sounds cool.
Brockus, I hate to tell you this, but the only senpai who's going to notice you is me. So, haul it back, okay?
Yeah. No. You know what, Samaj? Yes, senpai has noticed me. But here's the thing. I do plan on eventually going out to Arkansas to fucking bring More Scar to life with Magog.
I mean, even though your shoulder's fucked up, you can still help him with all the physical labor.
I'm hoping that I can get all of my surgery and legal bullshit taken care of before I actually make the trip out there. Only because it would just suck if I can only do half the physical labor because my arm is all kinds of fucked up and shit. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be starting construction on it for another year possibly because he needs to get the GoFundMe up to a specific amount of money for him to even start production on.
Well, you know what, Brockus? Ashley Williams lost a hand, and that didn't stop him from killing off the Evil Dead.
Okay,
there you go.
There is a difference. I don't have some sort of magical link to a chainsaw that I put on my hand.
You got to build one, man. Come on, you got to get creative.
I don't have a boomstick either.
What? You don't have a boomstick? How could you not have a boomstick? I mean, for fuck's sakes, dude.
See this?
What's a boomstick?
Is my boomstick.
Oh, God damn it, Opal.
All right, Opal, what
is
did you...
Is that slang for dynamite?
It's slang for a shotgun.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm in Texas. I feel like I should have known that.
She needs to go watch movies. What does she need?
No, I will educate. I
wasn't allowed to watch movies as a kid.
She still doesn't know the magic of the Beatles.
Look,
it was a cute cartoon.
God damn it!
I haven't. Oh my god!
It was cute. They were in a little submarine. I bet they solved mysteries like Scooby Doo.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Oh.
No,
you're way off.
The Bitching Witch is actually saying that yes, a beer does actually produce more milk because of the barley and hops. However, it's only one beer, and you should wait an hour before actually breastfeeding so the alcohol can actually leave the breast milk. Otherwise, you've got an alcoholic baby.
Okay, thank you, Bitching Witch, because I was like, that sounds wrong, but I don't want to judge another mom. Thank you.
I kind of wish we could get Opal high on acid and then just have her live stream watching the entirety of Yellow Submarine.
Oh no, trust me. If I get Opal high on anything, it's going to be weed only because I don't think her brain will be able to handle anything else.
Oh, Opal, you should also watch the Magical Mystery Tour.
What's that?
While we're at it, Pink Floyd's Brick in the Wall. Watch that.
Oh, my uncle has their poster.
I'm just imagining Brockus gets Opal high, and then we see him running naked down the street.
My uncle has a Pink Floyd poster. I learned one of the reasons my family immigrated to the United States is they like your music.
Oh, okay. Well, I agree with your family.
Yeah, apparently my grandparents were hippies.
Yeah. I never really got down with your guys' music, you know.
Actually, the sad part about it is I walked into a truck stop the other day, and they actually were not playing country music. And I looked around. They said, "Can we help you with something?" I said, "Yeah." Am I in the right place? The music doesn't suck dick through a silly straw.
Oh. Well, were they playing anything?
I walked into a truck stop tonight, and I heard Dio on the radio, and I'm like, I think I'm in the right place.
Was it Holy Diver?
Oh yeah.
It seems like it's the only song people know.
That's the only. Well, that's the only one they'll play on the radio. I think the rest of them are. I don't know. Well, you'd think Rainbow in the Dark, maybe.
Yeah.
But apparently, they only bought that album that has Holy Diver.
Right. They bought the single, or they just downloaded it, torrent. Damn it.
Well, they probably got it off Napster.
Yeah.
There's a blast from the past for you.
I remember LimeWire.
Is that like a Sprite or a Mountain Dew?
Huh?
Yes. Yes, that is a Sprite and Mountain Dew. Yes. That's exactly it.
Not gonna get me. Nope.
Do you want to get executed for heresy? Because that's how you get executed for heresy.
What?
That and burning your fucking coffee.
Opal, are you afraid of any kind of bugs?
I'm afraid of a lot of bugs.
And now everyone in chat knows what to send you.
Well, I mean, pictures of bugs aren't bad.
Just send Opal a bunch of gifs of fucking giant spiders.
I like to watch documentaries about bugs. I just don't like them in my house.
Well, the fun part is you could always do like that Valentine's gift that some dude did on YouTube where he put fish and crickets in one of those heart-shaped candy boxes.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Broody in chat says, "What is not radio friendly about talk to strangers? About don't talk to strangers?
Don't talk to strangers, kids."
Is that Frank Zappa?
Don't talk to strangers doesn't work around here because it doesn't get much stranger than the guys on the country.
Indeed.
You guys should check out a song by Frank Zappa called the fuck is it? Oh damn it! He used to be married. Bobby Brown. There you go. Check out a song called Bobby Brown by Frank Zappa. That's a great song.
So, did you guys ever see that tweet I tweeted out the other day about my friends, the conversation I had with my friend about Star Wars?
Yes, the one that caused Schmeckel to kill himself.
That I don't know why I'm surprised.
Why?
I've known him for a long time, and I found out that he's Chinese and his family immigrated over here. But once they were able to get satellite, they only watched Chinese shows. They were able to get channels from there, and they never watched anything else. In fact, that's the only thing they watch to this day. They don't watch local news, nothing. So he didn't grow up with Star Wars or Ghostbusters or any of that stuff. It's next to impossible to talk to him about anything. Damn. And I was roasting him. I only took a few screenshots, but I was roasting him a good portion of the night.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
And then I tweeted it out, and I'm like, I shouldn't be tweeting out conversation I'm having with my friends, but I'm like, this is too fucking funny. I can't.
Aww, your poor friend.
Well, there's also the fact that apparently Solo took a complete shit at the box office.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I've only ever seen the Star Wars prequels.
See, you're young enough. That's okay because, well, not really. I mean, do you have TV?
I don't have TV.
Okay, see, okay, I'll let that slide then. Because if you had like anything TV or anything like that, they're constantly playing Star Wars. There's never a weekend that Star Wars is not playing on some channel.
I don't have TV.
Well, no, she's got the internet. There's no excuse for not having seen all, at least all the first 6.
I just saw like a prequel. I remember my dad snuck it on one of his visitation days, and he showed me it. And then I had nightmares because when Mars Attacks scared me.
Oh, I could see how
Attack.
the fucking faces of those things was frightening as a kid.
Yes. So then my mom got mad and made it so I didn't watch any movies anymore.
You guys were talking about Star Wars. Isn't one of those movies called Star Wars: The Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans? Right?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, apparently, apparently, at the end of Solo, you find out how Han Solo got his name because apparently that wasn't his name through the movie, and it happens after Chewbacca catches him in the bathroom doing a Han Solo.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's, I guess, funny.
I don't know. There's a lot of things about that movie that there was ends that there was bits that just didn't go anywhere. It was pretty bad.
Like they were trying to set something up, but then never got to the payoff.
Brackus, why are you sending me porn?
I'm not sending you porn. It's a link to a comic strip that is actually fucking funny. It's this overly sexual, like this hypersexual fucking elf girl who's trying to hook up with this orc, but the orc is consistently rejecting her and all her advances. And as I was reading it at one point, I thought it was fucking hilarious. I'm like, this is kind of how me and Opal started knowing each other. Like, she would, because it was, you would say things to creep me out, and I would just reject you almost always.
The comic that you're talking about, I remember when that came out. That actually came out around the time when the first World of Warcraft expansion came out, the Burning Crusade, and the Blood Elves were part of the Horde, which surprised me and a couple other people. And they were like, well, now that you're members of the Horde, you might as well experiment. They're your allies after all. So,
what the hell?
What?
I don't know.
Look, if we were in the world of Star Trek, you wouldn't want to bone one of those alien chicks.
I would, but knowing my luck, it would be like the chick from what the fuck was that movie with Tim Allen?
Galaxy Quest?
Yeah, if my luck, it would be like the chick that Tony Shalhoub starts banging.
Well, see, I wouldn't want to bang one of them chicks. Oh, the only thing that would like, wait a minute, I said that fucking backwards as hell.
All right,
I'd be fine with banging one of them as long as William Shatner didn't get to her first.
Well, no, I'm just sitting here thinking the second those tentacles started popping up, if I were in the middle of kissing her and those tentacles popped up, I would be the one jumping up going, nope, 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 I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. Nope.
He's like, where's the cancel button? Delete. Something.
No, delete.
See, I always thought, like, if we were going from Star Trek terms, I thought the Klingon women were like, yeah, that'd be an interesting night, but not the one from the new Star Trek series, because those women, you get to see a full nude one, and it's ugly. It's look.
She's got ridges in places she doesn't need ridges.
No. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. We've had other Klingons and other shows. That you got to see like cleavage and stuff of the like it's not supposed to have that.
Is it like
why am I getting the feeling that just from Samaj's description I would be looking at a naked Klingon chick going, shit, now I'm in the mood for ruffles.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking like how he explained it, they have just like a little bit of top boob, right? And then it stops just after the cleavage line and it's just ridges.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. It is not pretty.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm fucking a cheese grater.
You try to rub your hand up and down, and it's like.
Yeah, no shit.
The only person who likes skinny women is Schmuckle.
I like skinny women. What are you talking about?
You don't
No,
like
he
them
likes no form women that look like poles.
like bony.
I got nothing wrong with women of different sizes.
But
I think-
Schmuckle specifically likes women with bones sticking out.
Yeah,
like no
and
tits.
old women.
That too.
yeah.
I
that-
guess other people want to know about the orc and elf
Oh.
comics. Okay, I swear to God, this thing just keeps getting funnier and funnier the more I read it. I know you're not an elf. You need to calm down, little fairy girl.
Yeah, I think Brockus is over there with the elves going.
Come and get it, ladies. I'm yours for the taking.
I actually got a
Right, right.
DM from the bitching witch, and it's pretty goddamn funny because apparently some Nebraska mother got arrested months after deputies say she got drunk and smothered her 3-week-old son. She apparently didn't get the don't get hammered and then try to breastfeed fucking memo. So
Oh, that poor baby.
One of the many
Schmuckle's
reasons. One of the many reasons why some mothers just shouldn't drink.
I'm torn
Aw.
between how horrifying that is and the fact that I'm a big fan of natural selection.
Ah,
I don't think that was natural selection, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. It was natural. She got drunk and it took her out of the gene pool, sort of.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
well, speaking of natural selection, I'm gonna go make myself a hot dog. I'll be right back.
I just bought some cereal.
Oh,
So,
your
okay.
headset's fucking up.
What'd you do?
The baby's standing in the hallway. How did you get out of your crib?
He climbed out.
He heard his. He heard.
Okay, if his head turns around 360 degrees, leave the house.
If you start hearing voices in the house to something to the effects of like, I climbed out, mother, then you need to run. You need to leave the house
I
immediately.
just turned around. He's so quiet, like a mouse. I just saw this black silhouette.
Okay,
Oh my
And
god!
confirmed,
got-
her son is going to grow up into Michael Myers.
I've got the perfect Beetlejuice line for this very moment. Opal
so
turns around. Opal turns around, and all of a sudden, her son's just like,
What do you think of this? I like it.
Oh no, Nick, I'm not scared of you, sweetie. Go back to bed. You just frightened mommy. Oh my god. Oh my god, my heart.
I'm enjoying this more than I probably should.
I just see this black silhouette and I turn around. Oh my god, how did you get out of your crib?
Hungry, mother.
How did you get out of your crib? Yeah, your crib's fine.
He probably hopped that shit. That's what I used to do when I was a kid.
He's not crying or anything. He's just looking at me. Like super serious and monotone. Like,
Mother,
you okay?
I hunger.
You okay? You okay? Are you bruised?
I told you he's gonna be Michael Myers when he grows up.
There's a
What?
blanket.
No, it wasn't the silhouette that she saw. It was that all of a sudden in the background that.
That is Jason Voorhees.
Oh, okay, so his blanket's on the floor and his stuffy and his clothes. How did you get your clothes all the way over here? Your laundry basket's over here. You got your clothes from the basket and threw them on the floor so you could get down? You could respond, sweetie.
Is
Oh.
he awake? Is he just like sleepwalking?
If his eyes turn black, run.
He's just looking at me really serious. I think he's mad at me.
I think he might have shit himself.
Your diaper's clean.
I think I made him shit himself.
I think
He's
Opal shit herself.
Oh, maybe it was kind of scary. But
Check
he's
the back of your pants, make sure.
here. Just come to bed with me.
That doesn't
God.
sound like a
Yeah,
line I'd like to hear out of her too often.
He's still really he's looking at me really mad. He's just looking at me really mad. No, I'm not talking to your father. You cannot have the
He's
phone.
sleepwalking. He's sleepwalking. He's just thinking about murder.
You can't have the phone. I'm not talking to your dad. Just go back
Make
to
sure
bed.
that you keep the kitchen knives out of reach of him.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's going to take a liking to him one day. And he's not going to want to cook with him.
Yeah.
Your son ever picks up a dog by its neck, just get the dog away from the kid.
Oh, my dad got a dog. It's one of the dogs that
Oh,
Lucy's.
how the fuck did you get that from what we were talking
And
about?
the dog is afraid of my son.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was hiding
I'm
under the
afraid of your son.
table. It was hiding under a chair. And the baby's smart. He was staying like a foot away from him, like or her. The dogs are her. And like he didn't get close. He didn't grab the ears. He didn't grab the tail. He just like he's a foot away, but he's like scolding her, like meh, 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 yeah, you know, like baby talk, but angry. And I don't know. The dog was just afraid of my son.
There is nothing less intimidating than angry baby talk.
I don't know. The dog was hiding under the chair. Like,
Well, yeah,
she wouldn't get out.
dog. Dogs eat their own poop. What do you expect?
Derail's child question my random story. What was the child question?
What are you doing? Waiting for the chat to respond?
What was the child question? Give him a bottle and put him. Oh yeah, I should give you some milk. Maybe a full tummy will help you go to sleep.
My dad got a dog is the funniest way I've heard to say I'm adopted. Wow.
Look at him, P.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, that I golf clap to you, sir. That was brutal.
That deserves the Magnus seal of approval.
The child is scaring the shit out of you right now. Just a little, because I didn't think he could climb out of his crib. He showed no interest before.
God, I'm gonna have to find me some creepypasta music now for my soundboard. Just
You don't want milk? Are you sure?
No, mother.
Just lay on the pillow then.
no, mother, I do not want milk.
Stop growling.
Okay.
What delightful agony we shall inflict.
I don't know why he still growls. He knows how to form words.
Because he's Michael Myers in the future, he's just not going to talk anymore. You're going to have to find a Dr. Loomis and look and set him up in the child psych ward, and he's going to be in there for like 20 years. And
Oh, dude, stop talking.
when he comes out, he's going to be 6'8".
He's probably just sleepy.
He's gonna come out 6'8", looking like fucking Kane from the old days.
Yeah. Oh, See No Evil, or was it Hear No Evil? It was See No Evil, right?
I think it was See No Evil.
Yeah. WWE movies. Whatever happened to them? Do they still make those?
I think so. I don't know.
No. Oh, Raucous, what the hell is up with people were asking, why is Tariq Nasheed in the title?
Oh, that's because of what happened with Buffalo Wild Wings. So, to those of you who don't actually know, Buffalo Wild Wings, I assume their Twitter account was recently hijacked. Either that or whoever is in charge of the Buffalo Wild Wings Twitter account is a big fucking troll who started off this series of unfortunate tweets, I suppose you could call it, by basically calling Tariq Nasheed a fucking racist.
Nice.
And I promise you this: if that was actually the person in charge of the account, I will be going to Buffalo Wild Wings every chance that I get.
Right? They got some balls.
Yeah, well, and anybody with that much hair on their nuts deserves me to shop at their establishment.
That'd be interesting. Seeing big industries coming out and saying something. Like I thought Wendy's was a really huge thing when they started trolling and roasting people. I don't know. Buffalo Wild Wings, they do it. Could work out.
Oh well, yeah. If they pick on assholes like Tariq Nasheed, they definitely deserve the business.
Hell yeah. Huh, I wonder if Buffalo Wild Wings still does that wet
The
t-shirts
orc, put
Thursday
on
that they
some
used to do.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
our
if that
Buffalo
was
Wild
them or
Wings
not.
did. Our Buffalo Wild Wings did. The fucking waitress the one day, I think I was still like 17, and she came to our table. Must have thought I was older than I was, and she tells me and my stepdad, she's like, "You guys should come back later. We do a wet T-shirt contest every Thursday."
Okay, real quick in the orc, the daily life of an orc comic strip that I was just reading. There's a comment at the very bottom of the page, and it's one of my most favorite fucking comments because of everything you read. So having magic in that universe turns one into a pervert? Neat. I'm just like, that's actually kind of true because later in story, that you find out the elf is actually magical. It could do magical powers and stuff like that. And then later, some human wizard shows up with a hero and stuff, and it turns out the human wizard is a fucking pervert herself as well. So it's just like every magic user in this damn thing, every female magic user is a goddamn perv. And I'm cracking the fuck up because I'm like, you know what? There probably is a fantasy world out there like that. Which means, in an alternate universe, Samaj, you are a magic user.
Well, so when you're casting a spell, it's
Yeah.
I like how the orc keeps saying, "Put on clothes." Put on some clothes.
Stop showing me your naked body, Opal. I don't want to know.
Aw. Aw.
I'm just saying, like, if you were the kid, never mind.
I don't know if I should be offended. God, this
Don't be
comic strip
offended.
is long.
Jeez.
Oh my god!
be offended. It'd be funnier if you were.
I'm looking it up on like image, on like Google Image, and it looks like someone in Korea is doing their own little fan version of the comic
Oh yeah.
in the Korean art style here. Let me see if I can open this in a new tab. So I don't know.
Oh no, that's a retranslated. I know this.
You're gonna end up scrolling past titties.
Don't you go beyond this page. Don't you go beyond this page.
I'm just gonna stop
This-
screen sharing. How's that?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, what that is actually an actual hentai manga, just retranslated in Korean or whatever fucking language that was. Obviously Korean.
Why is
Nice,
there
That's
so
all it
much,
is.
nice shot, Samaj.
Yeah.
why is there so much orc porn?
Well-
It's a fetish. There are people out
Yeah.
there that legitimately have what is it called? Tetrophilia, which is essentially a monster fetish. You're attracted to monstrous things.
Wait, so she doesn't get what
I was
she
about
doesn't.
I was about to say you called it tetrophilia, and I'm like, wait, there's people that beat off while they play Tetris.
She doesn't get with
Nice.
the orc in the end. Did I mention
No.
this page?
Well, I think it's an ongoing series, and it's not meant to actually be like legitimately an actual sexual thing and everything.
But they
It's
should
just-
be in a relationship. She's breaking into his house.
Okay,
That's
Yeah.
not romantic.
Opal, you're fucking up that you're in. Anyways, what Samaj was just showing us on screen, that actually does have a story of a nice, kind orc who is fucking the shit out of that elf girl in that picture. In a later story, or at least I think how the story starts off, it's her and her younger sister.
Ew, no.
She's no when she was hitting on you back whenever it was. Did I miss something?
People are advocating for opal rape in
Why?
the chat.
No.
Don't
no
rape Opal. If she was
No
to
one's
start
raping my
screaming,
fucking
she would
wife.
shatter
No,
all
no, no,
glass in
no.
a 6-mile
Opal
radius.
raping people. They're
Oh.
advocating for opal to rape people.
Oh, that's weird. But okay.
What? This isn't rape. This is just weird
Oh.
consensual sex.
Guys, Opal is not going to be the Cunstream's zone ton. Okay, don't go thinking that way. We have standards. Okay.
I don't. Oh, no. I want to be raped by opal. Oh.
And be it
I don't
that I'm-
advocate for opal rape. That would be too cruel to the rapist. Damn it, AP.
Opal, what the fuck have you done to this chat?
I don't know.
Oh, it's okay.
Opal Town.
He said,
Opal
AP said that's right. She's the the cunt stream's sweet Aaron. Sweet
Oh
Opal.
no! See,
He said sweet Opal.
everyone despises Aaron, and it's not ironic. Everybody
Why?
makes fun of Opal, ironically. Some
It's ironic?
Some people legitimately hate you. I'm not gonna lie about
I know.
that.
I don't know why. I just kind of show up.
Well, I think it's because you're the cute, innocent, fucking not so innocent sex fiend. I don't know. I don't know what to fucking call you.
I'm Opal.
Yes, you're Opal.
Yeah. We know.
I make fun of her just because she sounds like a squeak toy.
AP saying everyone despises Opal, and it's not ironic. Okay. God damn. AP is on a roll. Like,
when is he not on a roll?
he's probably sitting on his side of the fucking computer, just cracking the fuck up with all these goddamn Opal burns. It's great.
Bropal.
Gropal.
Bropal.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's our ship name.
Yep.
Opal is a definition
Gropal.
all on her own. She's innocent until she opens her mouth.
I kind of like Brapus.
The first definition of Opal is run.
well, folks, I just busted a nut. Found a cosplay of a chick with dressed like Wednesday Adams in a thong.
Oh,
There we go.
succubus swimsuit, I think.
I don't
Wait.
think that's her.
Wasn't
Yeah, no, that's somebody else, I think.
Link
wasn't Wednesday the kid?
Well, yeah, in this one, she doesn't look much like a kid. I mean, I grew up watching Wednesday Addams, for fuck's sakes, man. That's why I've always kind of had a thing for goth chicks. You know, that's just how it works.
Right. Exactly. We had who was that chick that she was in Casper?
That was when Christina Ricci said
Wednesday
Addams, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in a bunch of fucking And it's like you kept seeing the goth chicks in the movies, and you're like,
all
damn,
right, Brockus,
they
check
just-
your DMs on Twitter and make sure you have your dick in your hand and not in your pants before you look.
Maybe I should just make this into a thumbnail, except for the
Hello.
Opal in there.
Oh God, Opal's so dumb she stuck the phone up her ass to make booty calls.
Nice.
Somebody would probably pay for that.
Most likely.
Except the only problem is that if you do that, you might kill yourself.
Yeah, that's swimsuit succubus.
Oh, that is her?
Yeah, except the person who's actually showing the picture is not swimsuit succubus.
I haven't seen her since I first got on Twitter, so I don't even know what she looks like these days.
She's basically she's a lesbian cosplayer who's in a relationship with another, I guess, bisexual or lesbian cosplayer.
Well, see, now I have to do the cleanup of shame. I busted a nut over that picture and it's like, oh, she's a lesbian. Oh, God damn it! Every fantasy in my head is now ruined.
What, dude? No, think about it. She's a lesbian, which means she has a girlfriend. Well, she actually does have a girlfriend. They're both really hot, thick, and big-tittied.
Which means they're both two of the most boring creatures on the planet Earth. Yeah, I know the song and dance.
It could be bi, I don't know. Although her profiles do tend to stay something like 97% lesbian. I don't know. All I know is I came across her a while ago. I started following her online, and I stopped giving a shit about a year ago.
Don't you start that.
Oh, she caught you.
I follow a lot of cosplayers. Recently, I found this dude on Instagram who does a badass cosplay of Spider-Man.
Oh man! Don't kowtow to the bitch.
The guy with the movable eyepiece.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Spider-Man with the movable
Oh, the guy that made the Spider-Man mask that kind of works like the one in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah. I love some of the amateur engineers out there because they will put together some of the most badass fucking cosplay you will ever actually see.
I love engineers.
I'm not an engineer. I have shame in the family. I'm kidding. I'm an artist. Okay.
She loves engineers. That explains her sex life and why she's got so many toys.
They're
If
so
you
smart.
if you put a quarter in Opal's mouth, she'll pop a snack cake out of her snatch.
I mean, if you want to call it a snack
Actually,
cake.
no. What the quarter slot behind her ear is for is to roll her teeth back up into her gums.
Another burn. Opal is so fat when she jumps off the high dive, she shows up on radar. Oh my god, these are so brutal.
No, he said in the chat before that that he's not going to let her get away with ignoring these jabs.
Yeah, her bad behavior, apparently.
Oh,
Start
my-
protecting her, Brockus. Get your fucking fedora out, man. You guys are together.
Yeah, man.
I actually used to own some kind of fedora type hat, and then I lost it years ago. Thank God, because shortly after I acquired that thing, I started finding out about the fucking faggots who wear fedoras, and I was just like, oh, glad I lost that thing.
All right,
Never
we need some
again.
photoshops of Brockus and fedoras.
Don't you fucking do it, I swear to God.
And that is it.
Smosh.
Just find him
Oh,
on camera.
Smosh.
Don't you fucking do it. If you're going to draw me with any kind of fedora, it better be me setting it on fire.
Well, what if I did you like that that one white knight we had for a nod?
No!
You kidding? He was the coolest guy we ever had. He was amazing.
What did I
Zelda liked him.
Look, Opal has been a YouTube personality a lot longer than me. She can handle herself. I will comfort her off air.
What did I miss? I went to go do it.
You went to go masturbate? What?
With a cell phone.
Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
Opal.
Okay. No, one more from AP.
She loves engineers because she's so dumb. She thinks that's how you get a train to run on her. God damn it! Fuck Opal. These birds are just. I think that's why she left.
God, man, I think AP's just swinging in with those burns like.
Oh my god.
You gotta need George of the Jungle. Watch out for that tree.
That's Opal. Oh god.
AP saying that him and Opal have been beefing for years. Don't get in the middle of our kayfabe beef.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, in all honesty, I wasn't going to get in the middle of that.
Here.
God, he was cutting her. Beef, nothing. Those cuts were so hard. I thought she was a filet mignon for a minute there.
All right.
Holy Christ.
No, I'm not, but thanks for the vote of confidence.
You know, half the reason we
Opal rib tips.
half the reason we ever get Opal on here is so we can just roast the everyone crap out of her. If it's not this, it'd be her cooking. Hey,
No, she actually posted a picture that she burnt coffee the other day, and that what I said to her earlier was exactly what I tweeted at her. It's like, do you want to get executed for heresy? Because this is how you get executed for heresy.
Oh, you burnt coffee.
By leaving it in the pot too fucking long and leaving the coffee pot on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I shouldn't be complaining. I did burn like hard-boiled eggs.
How the fuck did you pull that one?
I forgot I put them on.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I got roasted by what was his name, Big Al. He does that cooking channel. He saw my tweet and he just fucking roasted me and, and showed me how the correct way. Step 1, be ashamed of yourself. Step 2, be ashamed you ever posted those pictures.
Those are great steps. I have to agree with it.
Yeah. Well, my favorite was Trippy Poop was about to say something about if you find him picking up a dog with one hand and all of a sudden, oh, my dad got a dog. And it's like, what? How the fuck did you get there from there?
I don't know. She does that all the time. Every time I mention the Beatles, she brings up the Yellow Submarine cartoon.
Okay.
It's like, they were so cute. Yeah.
I'm sending AP the link if he wants to actually join us. AP, you've got the link. If you want to jump in, feel free. If not, it's cool.
And Magnus, when we were in an after stream once, she's like, "Oh, did you know that the Beatles had a fan following?" Murder.
No, I've never even heard of them before.
What, the
jeez.
Beatles? Oh, yeah. Oh, really?
Right.
So, my grandfather told me they were famous at one point.
Right.
What
Too
the
bad none of them
fuck?
are alive anymore because Paul died in the 60s.
Actually, no. That you're probably thinking about John Lennon. He died of lead poisoning in the 80s.
Yeah, I know. I think it was 85, wasn't it? Poor guy. Just collapsed in front of his apartment building, or I think it was a hotel. Yeah.
Well, see, it was that vegan lifestyle, but nobody told him that lead was bad for you.
Mhm.
So this is the series of tweets that started the whole thing, I would assume. Reminder that Tariq Nasheed is a racist coon. Followed up with fucking niggers, I hate them. Oh, fucking niggas, I hate them. Tommy thinks that Glove is a bald midget with a small dick. Remind that Wendy's touches kids, stupid nonsense. They don't know what that is. Our secret recipe is Tommy's cum. That's what makes our wings so good.
Oh my God.
Who the fuck hacked their account? Because
There's
that's what
an
that shit sounds like.
I don't know, but everybody is like, well, I wouldn't say everybody, but there are a lot of people talking about the Buffalo Wild Wings thing. Our secret recipe is Tommy's cum. That's what makes our wings so good.
Okay, so apparently not a nonce is a person convicted of a sexual offense, especially child molesting.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait. Finally, Buffalo Wild Wings verified that they were hacked, but I still have a bunch of white supremacists harassing me because of the tweet from the Buffalo Wild Wings account. I'm not willing to settle out of court for an 80-piece order of lemon pepper wings and some curly fries. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh fuck! Tariq went with it. He ran with that shit. He made a touchdown.
He always does.
Oh, okay. Look, I fucking do not like Tariq Nasheed because of the fucking shit he consistently keeps pushing all over the internet. His bullshit hate spreading is quite possibly one of the most vile, toxic, venomous things that the internet unfortunately has to deal with. And that is because he might be doing it as a fucking joke, but there are lots of people online that are not actually taking him as a joker. They are thinking he is legit and that he is 100% serious, even though it has been kind of proven multiple times Tariq Nasheed is nothing more than a fucking fake ass bitch. But for him to make this tweet in response to the Buffalo Wild Wings shit, I'm willing to settle out of court for an 80-piece order of lemon pepper wings and some curly fries. Right there, that dude just got some points on the fucking the hilarity meter. He just earned some points from me. It's not much because he's been in the negative for a long time and he will stay in the negative for a long time.
Well, what do you expect? He's a grifter.
He's essentially a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, he doesn't even, as far as I can tell, at least my perspective of this, he doesn't even feed his own bullshit. It's literally all to be famous. It's legitimately just.
Well, no, Brockus, you gotta understand. I wouldn't go that far because shit is actually useful. You can fertilize a garden with it.
Oh, fair enough. That's
a sound clip of that "Wash Your Ass" song would be perfect right now.
I haven't quite gotten that far yet.
Yeah, I mean, with a song like "Wash Your Ass," I tend to think he's just a troll, just a very, very popular one. I don't know.
You talking about Tariq?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, dude, I called the cops on him as a joke earlier. It was fucking hilarious.
Please tell me you recorded it.
Oh yeah, dude. I got the fucking news to record it for me. I didn't have to record shit. It was the funniest joke you ever fucking saw, man. Call it. No, I can't see. You can't joke around about being the guy who did that shit these days. So let me be clear. I did not actually swat Tariq Nasheed. That's a despicable act that can get people fucking killed. Luckily, the cops that went out there, though, they kind of knew, they did their homework. They knew who he was ahead of time. Even Tariq was like, these were some good men, but they might not have been good men. So, like, the cops knew. They were like, all right, this is a Black Power activist dude. Like, he's a troll. Anything you do will be used against you. So just fucking go easy on this guy. They knew they were there on kind of a wild goose chase. I have to buy drugs, so I can't stay long. But I did want to apologize to Opal on the record. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings, Opal. I was just doing the thing that we've been doing for a year, where we just talk a bunch of shit at one another, and it's all fucking fun and games. But didn't mean to run you off of the cunt stream. Sorry about that. That shit was. This is what broke Opal. If she says I love engineers, and my response to it is, yeah, she loves engineers because she's dumb enough to think that's the only way she can get a train run on her. Like, it's a joke, Opal. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, you told me what lines not to cross. I do not cross those particular lines. Like, that's how you know it's kayfabe and it's all fucking fun and games. Just sorry if I hurt your little Mexican feelings there.
Actually, I think the problem was her son finally found his clown mask and a butcher knife.
Dude, she doesn't have a son, dude. That's the whole thing. That son doesn't exist, man. She's just very mentally ill. Dude, she thinks she's just talking like this, all these weird behavior, dude. That's just psychosis. That's a hallucination. And that's a manifestation of her inner psychosis that she's projecting into a hallucination of a child, dude.
Oh, well.
If you became entangled, that could be easily cured, I think.
Well, you know what? That's the difference between Hale and the Whale and other religions, is that the whale is real. And as long as she has an imaginary son, that son cannot become entangled. I'm sorry. And she cannot become entangled until she deals with those issues in her own life, sees a therapist, the hallucinations go away, and then she can get a job working the line at Luby's like a normal Mexican lady. But like, as it stands right now, hey, you can't be having imaginary children, man. I don't believe she has a child. This is all mental issues. But you should not pick on those who are handy capable. And that is why I'm here to publicly apologize to my friend Opal. I did not know that running a train was the sore spot. I figured after all the terrible things we've said in the past, like that this was well below that line. But I was wrong. I will not make fun of children or running trains on stream, and enjoy your Friday night thing you do on your phone with the fucking schmeckle here. Okay?
Fair enough.
Come on, Opal. Come back on.
I don't know, man. I think she left for legit reasons.
Actually, though, did you guys, speaking of all that, speaking of calling the cops on Tariq Nasheed, did you guys see it where people are bitching about mostly white people ride bicycles, or what is cycling is too white? Or did you guys see that?
Oh God.
Fuck.
I mean, he ain't wrong, man. Most people that are like sports cyclists are white because it's lame. It's some very white bread shit to be into, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Mountain biking's kind of cool, but that shit where you put on tights and then try to bike at 30 miles an hour and get in cars ways on a 50-mile-an-hour road, yeah, that's a very specifically white people thing.
Oh, it says here, London or cyclist, too white, male, and middle class.
Basketball players, too black, male, and rich. How about that?
Tall.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Translucent white is what makes things right.
That's right. Now, see, Brockets has the right idea here, man. If we were focusing not on black and white, but on translucent white being right, and on how all these petty human differences will simply melt once you see the light and the enlightenment of spectral supremacy. Samaj, you know about that, and you work for us now. We took you from the country, but we let you come play with Schmeckel every once in a while. He needs a friend.
Indeed, you have. Yes, I watched the bitch slapping. That was your little kumite here on the cunt stream, if you can even call it that. But yes. Oh, you humiliated the schmeckle, but you humiliated him with respect, and I
humiliated. It was out of love. It was very Don Rickles. It's done out of love. Like he asked for it. I would never go at schmeckle like that if he wasn't like, dude, roast me, go hard. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what are you gonna do?
Well, that was fucked up. Nice. Well, see, I've had to stop myself from making a specific joke about the people bitching about cyclists being too white. And it's like, well, yeah, because black people get tired of people running around chasing them, screaming, "Stop, thief!"
Right. We had to become the fastest cyclists in the world because you niggas kept stealing our bikes, man. Fucking like we had to come up with fucking these aerodynamic fucking 5-pound space age titanium bikes that were faster than the black man can run. Trust me, that's fast, man. We bred some badass black people during the slavery days. I'm sorry about those days. It was a shameful time in our country's history, but you guys did come out of it as excellent football and basketball players. So
well, yeah, even Lance Armstrong shaved one of his nads off to make himself more aerodynamic so he could get up the road faster.
He only had one nad at that point.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
See,
he was born with 3 Brockus.
Isn't Michael Phelps also short a nut?
I don't know.
Or is that just Lance?
Well, now if he was short a nut, that would explain why he was so fast in the water.
I heard that Adolf Hitler had only one nut.
Adolf Hitler. There was a song. Adolf Hitler has one ball. The other is at Albert Hall. His mother has the other, but that means he has 3 balls.
Damn,
that can't be right. But I think one of his testicles. I think he had 2, and one is at Albert Hall, and one was given to his mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys ever want, why are you trying to breed a super Hitler? You trying to Jurassic Park it up and like breed a fucking park in Costa Rica, take over an island, put up some electric fences, and just breed Nazis like raptors, dude. Just have a tour. They keep attacking the fences.
Wait, no, there you go, Velocihitler.
Oh shit!
All I see is just a rabbi hanging from a crane being dropped into a fucking velociraptor.
It says he had possible monarchism, like where one nut is stuck up, where it never descended.
I think that's called testicular distension when that happens.
Oh,
well, we learned how to do that in the martial arts. How to trigger that response by the body.
Right, I heard sumo wrestlers do a tactic like that where they put both of them up there. So
you attack the vas deferens in the pelvis is where you strike, and it'll retract the testicles into the body if you do it right. It's not something you're going to hit perfectly every time, but the bad thing about that is you have to to my knowledge they retract your testicles while you're awake. And it'll immediately put you into shock when it happens. So they'll have to wait until you come out of shock, retract your testicle, and put you back into shock by doing that. So it's not only bad to have your have somebody hit you in the vas deferens and your testicles distend. In order to put them back into place is a worse ordeal than it was to take the blow. So it's that's a new kind of hell you can put on somebody. Reserve that for rapists, pedophiles, shit like that.
Right.
That's your Gulf City martial arts tip of the day.
Is this the line you're thinking of? Hitler has got one ball. The other is in Albert Hall. His mother, the dirty bugger, cut it off when he was small.
Oh,
I didn't know that. So that's so much better than the one I was taught.
Oh shit!
Holy shit.
This is the songs on Wikipedia. Land is open water. Hitler's having a bath. Churchill's looking through the keyhole, having a jolly laugh.
Oh yeah, did you guys see that video on Twitter of I guess it's some guy in London accidentally bumps a guy on a bicycle and he starts stabbing the guy's window?
I did see that video. That freaked me right the hell out. Like, why is this guy on a bike have such a big knife? But wow, besides the obvious of his ethnicity,
because he's Sadiq Khan's cousin. That's why.
Fair enough.
That's his sister beheading knife, man. He's supposed to save that to behead his sister if she ends up fucking an infidel before she's properly married off. And that, but you only have to save those for about 6 years because that's when they marry off women in their faith. So like I don't know, maybe it's just an old one. His parents didn't have another child to sell in the marriage, something like that. He just had this knife laying around.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah,
and that's what the vas deferens punch is for. Motherfuckers like that.
Indeed.
If Muhammad would have got a vas deferens punch before he married that child, he never would have been a prophet. He never would have molested a child. We wouldn't have Islam as a dominant force in the religious world today. We wouldn't have the invasion on Western culture that it caused by proxy of that, and the world would be a better place. There'd be more anime porn I mean, just among other things, there would be a lot of anime titties.
Well, and anime titties are what make the world go round.
The giant Great Wall of China between the where the East meets the West in the Asia theater and where anime titties stop is the Middle East, man. If we got rid of them, we could have animated titties all the way down to the Cape, man. We could have them in South Africa, anime titties all over Europe. It'd be wonderful, man.
I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
that's probably what the
I went over to Twitter, and this was immediately what popped up as soon as somebody said anime titties, and I'm like, anime titties make me fucking smile, man. And
well, maybe we'll get more anime titties. I heard there was a burqa ban somewhere.
That's some dope waifu shit right there, man. Like those are some big anime titties. I can't jack off to cartoons, but I can appreciate a cartoon with like nipples that they took like a lot of care to draw. I'm like, wow, man, that motherfucker really like focused on the nips.
Brockus, should we even bother to tell him about the fucking 200 and some odd nudie waifu wallpapers I've made?
I mean, if you want to, you kind of already dropped that fucking little piece of knowledge.
No. Don't tell me about that. That's not something you should brag about.
What? I've got my phone covered for the next 280 years.
Oh, on your phone? All right, that's cool. I thought you meant like you just have like you collect anime waifu pictures to like bang one out to or something. I'm like, yeah, that's probably not something.
Nah, I've made smartphone wallpapers out of them.
I mean, you're a metal looking dude who wears fucking leather gauntlets and shit. I couldn't live in a world where I thought you couldn't get pussy. I couldn't live in that world.
Well, see, here's the thing: it's can and want to are two different things.
If it's your choice not to get pussy, that's up to you. If you've chosen gauntlets and slaying dragons over fucking pussy and fucking flaming electric guitars and fucking metal, dude, all more power to you. We need more men like you in the world. But I'm just saying.
Well, speaking of which, Sabaton followed me on Twitter today, so I'm doing something right.
There you go. See, I could tell. I could tell right there. Now, when you say you choose not to engage in pussy, so you can focus on metal and raging and the destruction of the human species. Does that mean you've turned a dick, or you've just chosen to fully throw yourself into the darkness and just the black metal and the gauntlets and the long hair and all that cool shit?
Yeah, no, definitely not doing the dick.
Not doing the dick. Okay. The whale blesses you on your journey. May he bless you and keep you. May you enjoy his warmth. And my drugs are here. I gotta go.
All right.
Well, damn, I could have used a blessing. All right, that's cool. I'll get one next time. Dude, when you said you made anime wallpapers, my mind went straight to you just having all anime fucking waifu wallpaper in your house.
No, well, I live in a truck. I live in a truck, dude. So,
okay.
Any downtime where I've got nothing better to do, if I find some really good waifu wallpapers, especially ones with big titty, I tend to make a smartphone wallpaper out of it.
Well, even though he is not here at the moment, I do want to thank AP for stopping on by because that was pretty cool. We always love to have AP or Gasly on the show.
It's always a pleasure to have AP or Gasly or several million other streamers.
AP, Gasly, Magog, Beardbarian. The list goes on of people I actually love. I do enjoy streaming with and shit.
Yeah.
I did not know you could actually have drugs delivered to you. That is amazing.
What? You never had you never called up your weed dealer and was like, hey man, come on over to my place and just,
No, I actually had to explain this to a few people multiple points in my life, but I have never actually spent money on drugs. I have never in my entire life actually bought a bag of weed or a thing of cocaine, whatever the case was. I have never bought my own drugs. The drugs were always at the party for me to enjoy, or my friends came over with a big ass sack of weed and decided to get me high. Like, my friends knew that I have always been poor. I have been poor pretty much my entire life. Even when I did have a job and money, it always ended up like my extra money that wasn't spent on bills and rent and shit like that would always go to things like cigarettes, my own personal supply of beer because I was sick and tired of going to parties where there's no beer, or comic books. So anytime I ever got high in my entire life, it was never because I spent money on it. It was always because somebody decided to fucking get me high.
Well, that's a true friend right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was telling somebody this story the other day, back when I was in high school. My dealer, I met him in class, you know. I heard him and his friend's like, dude, that shit that you had last night was so fucking strong, you know. So I'm like, oh, I need to buy some. Let me tap him and find out, you know. And he came over to the house later that day, and like we didn't use our front door, right? So when he came over, I let him in through the front door, and my mom had come up the hallway, and he didn't know that she, you know, knew that I smoked. And he comes over to me, he's like, dude, hey. Or actually, he shook her hand and introduced himself, and he was like, hey, dude, you want to go like back to your room and do this? I was like, why? He's like, your mom's right there. I'm like, just fucking pull it out. And like, my mom looks at him and goes, what the fuck are you doing using my front door? We only use the side door in this house, you know. She's fucking with him. And he goes to pull out the weed, and she's like, what the fuck is that? You bringing drugs into my house? And he's looking at her, he's like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I am so sorry. You know, and he's like, I don't know what to say. And she was like, oh, it's fine, fuck. And she hands him some money. She's like, you don't even know who you're selling to anymore, do you? And he just, ever since then, he just loved coming over to my house just to like hang out with me and my mom and get high.
Oh, I actually have my own story kind of similar to that. So this buddy of mine who I've actually been friends with for years, like well over a decade. We've known each other since just before freshman year of high school. We were on the football team during freshman year, summer break and all that shit, whatever the case was. And anyways, we've been like fucking buds for a long time. First time he ever came over to my house was not necessarily to get high, but we were eventually going to be in my garage quite a lot to get high. But this first time, him and another friend of ours from high school, they came over. We were all hanging out and stuff. Eventually, it was getting kind of dark, so they decided, okay, well, we're gonna head out. I was like, all right, man, take it easy. And as he's leaving, he was like, man, I really got to piss though. And I was just like, I don't know, fucking piss in one of the bushes or something. Just don't let anybody see you. So my mom comes out into the garage. And she's like, oh, where are your friends? I'm like, oh, they're leaving. They went through the side gate. And she was like, oh, okay. So she goes over to the side gate, and there he is on the other side of the gate pissing. And she yells real loud, you pissing in my bushes? She comes back in and she's laughing and shit, and I'm laughing myself, and we're both just having a fucking big ass laugh. And I go outside to see. He didn't hesitate. He launched every bit of piss that was left in him out of fear into the bush and ran down the street trying to hold his fucking pants up as he's running the fuck away. And the other guy was running with him and shit. And I'm laughing my ass off because I'm like, I thought that was shit that you only see in movies. This really happened in real life. I told my mom what had happened. She laughed so hard she collapsed.
Oh, shit.
She legitimately fell to the floor laughing.
Damn. Yeah, we had a group of parents that would smoke with us when I was in high school. And one day we're walking down the road, and it's me and a couple friends, you know. And our one friend, he sees our buddy's mom coming down the road. He's like, "Hey, dude, isn't that your mom's car?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Hold on, let me flag her down. We can get a ride home." And she pulls over, and me and my one buddy get in the car. Our other friend's trying to get in the car, and his mom heard the door shut, and she thought she heard two doors shut. And just the top half of our third friend is in the car, and she takes off like a bat out of fucking hell. And he's running alongside the car, and then he jumps in, and he goes, "You guys, that was fucking sweet. I think I just ran like 20 miles an hour." And we're like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm gonna start practice running from now on. If I can keep up with a car, I can probably get onto the fucking track and field team."
So the most mind-blowing thing I think I have ever discovered in my youth was my dad is a pothead. He's been a pothead pretty much since he was a kid, and he's never really stopped being a pothead. When I found out he was a pothead, I was just like, oh, now shit makes sense. My mom, on the other hand, is someone who apparently also used to belong to the drug world. And I did not know that until the most mind-blowing moment of my life, or one of the most mind-blowing moments of my life, when she legitimately rolled a joint for me and my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I stood there and I watched it happen, and she rolled that shit like a pro, like she was riding a fucking bike, and handed it to me. And I was just like, I don't know how to fucking feel about any of this, but I'm going to spark up this J, get high with my friends, and probably try to forget this. I never did. No matter how much I smoked, I never forgot.
Well, of course not, dude. If you're smoking with your mom, don't you feel like when you pass it to her like you're trying to hand a nun a dildo?
Oh, that was the most amazing part. My mom is a former drug user. She does not touch any drug at all. The only kind of drug she will touch nowadays would be something like aspirin or cold medicine in general, or even alcohol. And even then, alcohol is kind of a rare occasion. It's only during like family gatherings or when she's hanging out with very specific friends and shit like that. Otherwise, my mom's drug of choice would basically be currently 7-Up and cigarettes. That's it. My mom does not do any fucking drugs anymore. She hasn't done it since I want to say before my older sister was born, or just around that time, something like that. And so my mom hasn't done drugs since she was fucking a kid. She was only in that world for like a few years in her life, I guess. So I never actually did anything with my mom. I never actually smoked weed or snorted coke or popped pills or anything like that. But I have drank with my mom, which is kind of funny. That's actually my 30th. No, my 31st birthday out in Vegas. My mom and my aunt came out to visit me because I was living out there at the time. And I got fucking so hammered that they almost caused a goddamn fight to break out on the upper deck of one of the fucking buses we were on. It was interesting.
Nice.
But yeah, like drinking is probably the only thing I've ever done with my mom. And we were both obviously fucking adults by then. So it's just like, it was still a weird fucking moment for me to watch my mom roll a fucking joint and then hand it to me. It was even weirder a couple of years later when I saw my grandmother, this old lady, my Mexican ass grandmother, taking shots like she never stopped drinking. Because I don't think she did. Like my grandmother was taking shots tequila that made my stomach go, oh no, we can't do that anymore. She called me a pussy too. That was the fucked up part. Like,
nice.
I didn't know how to fucking feel. I was like, Grandma, you might be right about that. I don't know.
Hey, grandmothers are awesome.
I'm gonna have to soul search a little bit. My grandmother just called me a pussy because she's like 7.
That's the problem with parents and grandparents. You know them as these saintly old people. Meanwhile, it's like if they told you stories about the shit they did, which is the reason why they get all over your ass for premarital sex and whatnot, right, you'd probably dry heave until you couldn't move.
Right. I mean, shit, my grandma, she did something fucking hilarious because I hadn't seen her. She was one of those, like a lot of our family that we just don't talk, you know? And our grandma hadn't been around in our lives, me or my sister, for a long, long time until about, I'd say probably like 2006. And we started going around her again with the rest of the family. And I walk into their old house, her and grandpa's, and she's in the kitchen and she looks at me and she goes, holy shit. I'm like, what? She goes, you're tall. And she goes, you know what? You got to be the cutest or the best looking boy in the family. And she said that right in front of all of my cousins. And I just look at them and like a couple of my cousins just look down in embarrassment. Yeah. I'm like, well, thanks, Grandma.
As long as she didn't slip you the tongue, you're okay.
No. It was more like kind of a hug from a like 5 foot tall lady, and I'm over 6'1". So it's like, oh, hi, tiny grandma. Like we got a picture of her and my grandfather, and he's 6'5", and she's like 5'1" maybe. So she's at like his elbow, and it's just a really awkward black and white photo. But
yeah, back then, before people learned how to do selfies, they kind of were awkward.
Mm-hmm. Just got this giant stick and this little tiny lady next to him. They don't look like they could ever be a couple, but yet, look, I think my mom's got like 4 sisters. So, yeah, knocking boots.
That actually kind of reminded me of my great grandmother on my mom's side. Let me just go ahead and say she's probably one of the most un-PC people the world will have ever not known. Because, she passed away a long, long time ago. But she was the type of person that spoke her mind, and she did not fucking hesitate to speak her mind. She called my brother-in-law an ugly fucker when she first met him. I was like, hey, grandma, what the fuck? Why would you say something like that? He laughed. He didn't even fucking get mad about it. He was laughing his ass off because he was just like, I fucking like a great grandpa. That's awesome.
Yep. Well, like my grandparents, they were those kind of people that would be like, hey, come here. And you come over to them and they're like, grab a fucking drink, you pussy. Everybody else around here is getting drunk. Why the fuck aren't you?
That I swear that's probably how my great grandmother and certain members of my family would have reacted to, just because like I've been called a pussy by my own family members for refusing to drink multiple times, and I don't know how to react. So when I see it happen to my brother and he fucking like throws a bitch fit and just pretends like they just killed his fucking dog right in front of him and shit, I start laughing.
Great.
I can't say I blame you. It's like, yeah, grab a drink and join us, you fucking pussy. Oh, god damn it, I'm not a pussy. And it's like, dude, just shut up.
Right? It's just like, it's not that fucking hard of a concept. You grab a drink, you sit the fuck down, you enjoy. Shut the fuck up otherwise.
So I guess some people take it a little too personally.
Yeah, there are always going to be those members of my family, like anybody's family, really. But there are members of my family that if you say the wrong thing to them, they lose their fucking shit and throw a fit all over the fucking place. And it's just like, oh, why would you say something like that? Because you're being a faggot. So stop being a fucking faggot.
Oh, quick nerd news. Did you guys hear that the director and Jason Momoa dropped out of the Crow movie?
Huh?
Say what?
Yeah, Jason Momoa and the director of the Crow movie both dropped out.
You mean Jason
Jason's-
Momoa?
Momoa.
Yeah,
Hi,
Aquaman.
sorry. Yeah.
Aqua
They
Bro.
both dropped out of the fucking Crow movie. So
Yeah, the Crow does not have a very good I don't know, lineage or whatever. Actors keep dying.
Jeez.
So
like the Superman curse.
kind of like that, except death. Yeah. Well, I can't remember the Superman curse, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Superman curse was like the old TV show. The guy became a drunk, kind of fucked up his entire life. I think he died, didn't he? And then Chris Reeves got paralyzed, and kept kind of going like that all the way until I think the family of the creator of Superman actually started getting a little bit of money out of the character, and then the curse just kind of fell by the wayside pretty much, except for the last 2 movies that involve Superman. But I don't think that's just Superman's fault.
The fucked up part is that it was really only Brandon Lee that actually had something bad happen to him on the set of The Crow and everything like that. There have been 3 sequels.
Yep.
And a TV show, all based around The Crow. Nothing necessarily bad happened to any of those particular actors, except for the fact that everyone from The Crow 2 doesn't fucking do movies anymore, except for Iggy Pop. Technically, he still pops up in movies every once in a while, but that's it. Crow 3 was a made-for-TV movie, and The Crow 4 was also a made-for-TV movie. But here's the funny thing. Edward Furlong was the head Crow character in Crow 3.
Yeah.
And a few years after making that movie, it turned out he was an alcoholic who beat his wife.
Yeah, well, you forget the yellow Power Ranger that was in The Crow 2 bit it the hard way.
Yeah, Twi Trang, on her way to the Crow premiere, fucking died in a car accident.
Yep.
That has got to be some
in a
shit.
car accident. Sorry. You know what? Maybe that's why they would never let her drive the Megazord.
Well, I guess Asian people just can't drive anyway.
Yeah.
But you got to keep in mind. I guess it didn't turn out too bad for everybody. I mean, Thomas Jane was in The Crow too, and he ended up being the Punisher.
Yeah. Didn't Edward Furlong? I mean, wasn't he the actor who he let free like a tank full of lobsters so that they could go back to their home, and the store was like 300 miles away from the nearest water or some shit like that.
For some reason, every time I hear Asian drivers, I can't help but think of Family Guy going, I turn left now. Good luck, everyone else.
How many single turn I have to make to get off freeway? None? Okay, good luck, everybody else. Ray Jacobs is correcting me. It was actually Crow 4 that Edward Furlong was actually in that. Crow 3, I don't fucking know.
You're thinking of the one. I think Crow 3 was the one where the guy who became the Crow was a burn victim, and instead of having face paint, it was actually scars that did like the crow paint.
Oh no! They put him in the electric chair and sparked his ass, and it burnt the crow thing into his face. Yeah.
But I actually read the graphic novel that this is all based on and stuff. So when I see the different mythology versions of the Crow, which is essentially the same buildup, innocent, killed horribly, comes back to life to rectify and correct all the wrongs that were done to them just before their death and take vengeance and blah, 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 blah. It's cool. Interesting. Fuck everything that isn't the Crow. Even City of Angels, it was actually decent to a certain degree, but like overall, that movie was still garbage. I'm
trying to think. I know the name Edward Furlong, but I can't think of who the fuck that is.
Think
John
Terminator
Connor
2.
from Terminator 2. Yeah.
Oh,
Rock City.
They actually let that
dude
be the Crow.
Yeah.
Brock I love Detroit Rock City. That is like one of my favorite fucking movies.
It is a definite. I've actually met Edward Furlong, by the way.
Was he still sane?
He was at a signing with a bunch of other celebrities. Me and my friends, we go to this place out here in Southern California, and it kind of functions like a convention, even though it's not an actual convention. And basically, they have celebrities from time to time on the weekends for autograph signings and shit like that. That's where I actually my Zell met Stan Lee there. I met Walter Emmanuel Jones, the original Black Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I also met Red Brown, the second guy to don the Captain American costume since the 1940s or 50s. I can't remember when. I also met a bunch of celebrities there, but I also met Edward Furlong there, and he and I just had a basic chat, just kind of chilling outside, smoking a cigarette, hanging out, and everything like that. Turns out his son showed up a little later on that afternoon, and they were actually getting hot dogs when I ran into him again. I was like, "Oh, seems like a pretty cool dude."
Nice, very cool.
Yeah, we just talked about how, like, okay, no joke. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor more than anything. And Terminator 2 was the reason why I wanted to actually be an actor. And I had always wanted to meet Edward Furlong because when I watched Terminator 2, I always wanted to be John Connor, or at least the kid who played John Connor, because I thought he was so fucking cool. So when I got to be an adult and I meet Edward Furlong, I was just like, holy fucking shit, this is one of my like childhood idols and shit. And I'm meeting him. I am towering over this young man. What the fuck is happening? I'm twice his size.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, how cool could he possibly be? He was like listening to Guns N' Roses and fucking Terminator 2, man.
Well, he went to a Kiss concert in Detroit Rock City, and it was good because it was the 70s.
Yeah, I think I made him feel weird because I actually named off like my my top 5 favorite movies he was in, and he was just like, "Wow, I don't think I've ever actually heard anybody have a top 5 with me starring in it." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I fucking love you. You're a fucking amazing actor." I think that's what made him like feel at ease because like when I just was talking to him like a regular dude and shit, I was making it obvious I am a fan. But I understand that he's, probably got people that are waiting for him because he was outside smoking when I had actually met him initially. And so we were just shooting the shit. And I told him how much of a fan I was, how much I loved his character in Detroit Rock City, Terminator 2, all that stuff. I told him about me wanting to be an actor because of Terminator 2. He was a really cool fucking dude. I'm not going to lie. Edward Furlong is actually a really chill, really cool fucking dude. But he's just like any other celebrity. If you fucking overwhelm him with fanboying or fangirling bullshit, he's probably going to hate your guts. Oh, and I guess I made Race Jacobson moist because I had met Walter Emmanuel Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm actually fucking mad because apparently, and I didn't know this, apparently Zell has had at least a couple of chances in his youth to meet the Green Ranger. Jason David Frank.
Oh my god.
And I don't know why he never actually went and met him. Although I think maybe Zell did actually meet Jason David Frank, but probably doesn't really remember.
The Green Ranger did MMA for a minute.
He still does.
Oh, okay. Did you ever hear what he said happened to him when he first walked to the ring?
Yeah, nobody wanted to actually fucking fight him because everybody had anyone who had a kid. Yeah. They couldn't beat up their son's hero because that's the Green fucking Ranger. So he couldn't have a legit fight for the longest goddamn time because everyone was gonna just let him have because no one wants to, even if you were a fan of the show as a kid yourself and are now in MMA and now you're staring at Jason David Frank and you want to you're gonna beat him up and shit like that. You don't want to do that because it's the Green fucking Ranger.
Yeah. Well, I heard something to the contrary a little bit anyways. He said that when he was in the locker room, all he kept hearing, he kept overhearing people say, "Man, I can't wait to beat the fuck out of the Green Ranger."
Oh yeah, that may have been the initial thing, but then once people got into the ring, or at least when they were shortly after that, that was when almost every fucking fighter was just like, "I got a son, he idolizes you, so I can't beat you up. I feel weird."
It probably didn't, you would think, well, that Power Rangers show, that's over and done with. That was back when in the 90s or whatever. But it's on Netflix. And every kid has Netflix these days.
Yep.
And every kid is watching these old school Power Ranger episodes. You can't get away from it.
I'm sorry, I was more interested in the Pink Power Ranger for obvious reasons.
Wait a minute. Race Jacobson is saying that Jagan's dad built JDF's fucking house and JDF saved Jagan's life. If that's the case, then I want to hug and hump a little bit of Jagan because, dude, I want to know about JDF. Apparently he's a fucking cool ass dude. Ooh, you know who else was pretty fucking had a pretty interesting after Power Ranger show kind of thing? Austin St. John, Red Ranger. He became a paramedic.
Ooh,
he legitimately.
I heard he became a gay porn star.
I've heard that rumor too.
Okay, there was another gay porn star who just so happened to look very much similar to Jason David Frank, and his name was Brock something or other.
I heard another rumor that said that same Red Ranger was a pizza delivery boy. But these rumors spread just I actually heard that the Red Ranger dying in a car, or the Yellow Ranger dying in a car crash, was a rumor, but I don't know. You guys said it too, so
that actually did happen.
Yeah, that legit did happen. Unfortunately,
right? I thought so.
Oh, by the way, Race, I just want to point this out. I blew Walter's mind, the Black Ranger. I blew his mind when I actually named off all of the original cast for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, including the Green Ranger, and their original names. I said who they played and basically what their real names are in entirety. Now, the thing is that when Walter started in the show, originally he was just Walter Jones. Halfway through his entire career, before his contract was came up and they have essentially fired him from the show, was because when they added the Emmanuel, it's because he went into the Union, and Saban didn't like that. So because Twy, Austin, and Walter got into the Union, they were all essentially fired, written off in the show. I'm not kidding. That's actually what happened. You can go to several interviews where Austin and Walter confirmed this. I even talked to him about that specifically and thought it was fucking kind of funny, because I was just like, wow, I'm basically talking to you about a subject that I actually know a lot about because I watched a lot of YouTube channel videos on this. But yeah. So I blew his mind when I actually told him all the characters and all the cast members' names and all that shit, and he was like, "Wow, I think you're the first person to ever actually pull that off."
Hold up, guys! But this is a fight that we have to take bets on. Apparently, a Twitter account called 12 Nights of Horror. Who would win this epic battle? It's the Candyman versus the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Candyman.
Candyman.
Since the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers is actually incapable of death, it has to eventually go to the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. Only reason why is because name a movie where the Jeepers Creepers creature actually fucking died.
True.
Now, when you look at the Candyman movie, he dies in the end. So, immortal monster versus technical immortal demon soul. I'm going to go with the immortal monster that can actually kill things.
Anybody else's opinion?
Not really. I mean, I was never a fan of those two movies.
I hated Jeepers Creepers, I'm not going to lie. And Candyman cracks me the fuck up because to this day, I still laugh at the fact that it terrified my brother so much that he refused to take a shower that night that we watched Candyman because he was terrified the Candyman was going to show up and kill him.
Jeez. Do you guys remember that episode of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they met the Masked Rider?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love the episodes. The Common Rider episode. Ninja Turtle ones needs to die.
Well, I was going to point something out. Like, if you pay attention to the part where all the Rangers meet the Masked Rider, the guy that played Billy, the Blue Ranger,
Billy Yost, or
right.
David Yost.
Okay, there's a scene where he doesn't have his helmet on, and neither does the Masked Rider, and he fucking all the Power Rangers are lined up, and the Masked Rider dude looks at Billy, and Billy fucking winks at him like this super gay wink. And it's like he knows that the Masked Rider or the dude playing him is gay, and after they shoot this scene, they're gonna go fuck in the back room.
That is the most disturbing fucking thing I've heard all day. Don't ever say that again.
Yeah, go watch it. I'm sure it's on Netflix.
It probably is.
Well, my ex was obsessed and she wanted to watch all the episodes and like up until the Yellow Ranger became a blonde chick.
Race is trying to challenge me. He's saying Mystic Knights forever. As much fun as Mystic Knights was, just saying, bro, SPD was better. Also, fun fact, SPD has the most amount of Rangers in one entire season in the last couple of episodes.
SBD, what?
SPD, Space Patrol Delta. It's one of the seasons from Power Rangers. Okay, so a little bit of a thing. Zell and Kadant make fun of me for this, but I, for the longest time, was such a huge Power Rangers fan that I actually continued watching well into my teens and 20s. even as a young adult, I would still watch Power Rangers. Now, I did skip 3 seasons of Power Rangers because Lightspeed Rescue sounded really fucking stupid, and I was right. That season sucked. Lost Galaxy was boring as shit. Even though some people like to say, but they run around like ninjas. I don't give a fuck. One cool aspect does not make a good season. And then I couldn't stand Time Force. It confused the shit out of me because once they threw in time travel, I was just like, all right, now there's going to be continuity issues. And sure as shit, there were continuity issues later. So, but I started watching again during Wild Force. And I continued watching for several more years. I think RPM was when I stopped watching. Or the one just before that. I can't remember which season I actually stopped watching on, but I haven't watched Power Rangers in years and shit. But SPD was probably one of the coolest ones because they're basically in a far off galaxy. Power Rangers are a police force, and there's 2 different teams of legit Power Rangers. And then there's an entire other special forces team of Power Rangers sometime in the future. And then there are extra special forces Power Rangers that show up later on throughout the season. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, there's so many fucking Power Rangers in here. And that's one show. Not counting any of the crossover episodes that they may have done, because after Lost Galaxy and Power Rangers in Space did a crossover episode with one another, that became the continuous theme each season. Each new season, the previous season would have a crossover episode. That was just how things went. And eventually it was to lead up to what would be the big fight at the end of one of the Power Rangers shows. And that was because in the original Japanese version, there was an actual massive fight of the Cog Army versus all the Power Rangers from Earth from every season, which was like at that point, I believe 25 seasons worth. So it was 25 seasons worth of people in Power Rangers costumes and shit like that. It was fucking insane.
And every time Brock says SPD, I'm thinking Power Rangers, silent but deadly, because that's what it sounds like.
I am a nerd, wifey, but I'm not a virgin nerd.
I found a picture of them like then and now. Well, at least a couple of the people who played Rangers. But there's the Red Ranger right there in the middle, and Billy to the left.
Oh, okay, yeah, race was actually being correct. Mystic Knights was a Tiernanog thing. But I was thinking of Mystic Force. I am dumb.
Oh. God, they got old.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we have too. Did you know that the guy that played the Black Ranger, he's missing a finger? Which finger, Brockus?
Oh, it's his... I want to say it's his middle finger or his ring finger on his left hand.
Yeah, and it's like if you pay attention to that during the seasons, they took like no extra steps to try to hide it or anything. They just never really mentioned it.
Oh, no.
Hang on. Am I the only one looking at the Red Ranger in the middle and thinking, go, powdered donuts?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he did kind of chub up a bit, but he actually lost a lot of weight since he came back to... Okay, fun fact.
Here, I'll stop sharing. I'll look it up. I'll see if I can find any current pictures of him. Go ahead.
David Yost, Amy Jo Johnson, Walter Jones... the chick who plays Aisha, I'm forgetting her name. She was season 2, and I didn't really care because, you know, Walter and Austin left the show, and I was just like, without those two, the show kind of sucks. But then we got Johnny Youngbosch and Steve Cardenas, so I was just like, they're decent, but I don't know. Anyways, fun fact. When it came to touring and doing the fan stuff and everything, Jason David Frank was, and has always been, the biggest fan of going to cons that he can go to for autograph signings, fan meetups, and all kinds of shit like that. David Yost and Amy Jo Johnson were probably 2 of the only other people that followed suit after him, because David Yost, after he kind of came out of his suicidal depression for years after what Saban would put him through, Amy convinced him to actually come to the cons and the meet and greets and all that stuff, even though both of them tried to continue their acting career elsewhere. Walter, same thing. He would also go to all the cons and the meet and greets that he could actually go to and stuff, but he kind of went under radar from time to time because he did try to legitimately, like the others, do acting elsewhere and try to get picked up for more stuff, but again, didn't really happen. Jason David Frank's probably the only one that embraced the fact that he was on a kids TV show for X amount of years and will always be remembered as the guy from the kids TV show for X amount of years. He fully embraced it. He's been a huge lover of all that stuff. Austin St. John was the one guy out of the original cast that fucking hated it. He didn't like going to cons. He didn't like going to fan meetups. So after he had left the show, and when sometime after Zio, Austin almost completely stayed away from the cons and the fan meetups and all that stuff, especially since he was a paramedic at that point. But about 5 years ago, something happened. I'm not sure what, but something happened. And Austin eventually came back and started doing the fan meetups and the cons again. Jason David Frank and him have never liked each other. And they were feuding a lot. In fact, there was, for a time, you could never see Austin and Jason on the same panel together for the longest time because they hated each other that much. And it's mainly because Jason hates his attitude towards the fans, and Austin hates Jason's, I guess you could say, his over excitement for mediocrity. And it's just like, you know, it's the opposites of the same fucking coin and shit. But a couple of years ago at this point, Austin and Jason crushed the bullshit. They squashed whatever beef they actually had with each other. And now you see them almost consistently at the same cons at least 3 times a year. In fact, I believe they're both supposed to be at Power Morphicon this summer.
I love that name, Power Morphicon.
Oh, yeah. I want to go. I want to go one of these days.
You guys ever watch this this little fan film that was...
Oh, my God. This was so good. Jason David Frank was the only one who did not embrace this. He said it was good. He liked it, but he prefers the PG version of Power Rangers.
Well,
but Johnny Youngbosch, I love this because Johnny Youngbosch, if you notice, Adam is nowhere in this.
Yeah, you'll also notice that like what's his name? What's that guy's name? He's from Dawson's Creek or something. He's one of those other actors who can't get work doing anything else because he's known as the Dawson's Creek guy. This is one of the few times he got an alternate opportunity to do something different, and I thought he did great.
Oh my God, he did so good. Yeah, he's playing Evil Rocky.
Yeah, the other Red Ranger in the show, he didn't last very long because he broke his leg. Yeah. And this little fan film, he has a robotic leg. That's like everything about this it's just so full of great homages. I have to be careful of myself because I don't know if this has been edited at all.
No, and honestly, there's only a few scenes. Oh wait, yeah, it has been edited then.
Okay, thank God. I didn't know. It just came up there when I clicked. I thought this was further down.
The original version, those girls are topless.
Hold up. If you guys want to watch something awesome, that Dirty Laundry right there on the first video.
Oh, yeah, the Punisher one. I'll get
my
one.
God, that was so fucking fun.
Get that. I also know that these are actually 2 porn stars, actual porn stars.
Yeah.
That they got in there who are also fans of Power Rangers. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll be.
Wait, I know the girl on his right.
I bet you do.
You and your right hand.
Holy shit!
How long did you date her, Brockus?
I didn't date her, but I have jerked off to her for years.
I know her inside and out.
Kinda.
Oh man. Oh, the hip hop keto. Fucking those little like get in shape workout. Yeah, I remember seeing some of these back in the 90s. They were
you remember when Jason David Frank had the White Album? And it was I think it was a workout VHS to like learn karate from fucking the White Ranger. Called it the White Album.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they were omitting to in this little thing. Which, this film was so good.
Okay, yeah, this little short. Okay, so basically the black guy is obviously Walter Emmanuel Jones's character reprised, or Zach. This is Zach, and he's the Black Ranger, blah, blah, blah. You can tell that the guy who James Vanderbeek is playing is Rocky. He was obviously Austin St. John's replacement of the Red Ranger. Johnny Youngbosch's character, Adam, is Zach's replacement. But if you'll notice, everyone who gets replaced or everyone who is supposed to be in the first 2 seasons of Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and such, they're all mentioned except one. Adam is nowhere in this at all. They mention Aisha. They mention Trini. They mention Billy. They mention Tommy, Jason, Zach, Kimberly, Rocky, everyone except Adam. Adam is the only one that is not mentioned or shown in this entire fan film. So when this had come out and everybody was like exploding with, oh my God, this is so good. Actually make this real. This has got to be the fucking greatest thing ever. Blah, blah. Johnny Youngbosch was actually saying, I would love to not only be a part of this project, but I would love to come back for the sequel, air quote sequel. I would love to come back for the sequel to actually be the actual Adam, because Adam was nowhere in that thing. And I thought it would be fucking cool as shit if Adam actually was one of the few Resistance members that was still alive, kicking ass and taking names.
He just stabbed that man in the eyeball.
Wait, he cut his throat open, but yeah.
No, he stabbed him in the eyeball. I thought. I might be
What
wrong.
you thought. Yeah, no.
The guy that was laying on the ground, it looked like he just took the knife and went bam right in the eye.
I actually thought that this was quite possibly one of the coolest things they could have done with the whole Power Rangers mythos and shit. I don't think Japan would have liked it either. Saban definitely did not back it up. Most of the people here did not back this up.
Saban tried to get them to take this down, citing that it would hurt the profits of the movie that they were working on at the time.
Our movie sucks more than a YouTube video. Sorry.
Well, yeah, that movie they made was not that good.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and dip. I got to stare at the back of my eyelids for a while.
Sure thing.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, catch you guys later.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Have a good night.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because this is okay. There are certain tics and things you should not bring up with me and allow me to continue talking about, because I will talk about it forever. And I'm essentially forbidden to talk about Power Rangers, comic books. Well, not so much comic books, but mostly Power Rangers, Poisoning the Well, certain things with comic books, and a variety of other topics when it comes to Cadunt and Zell, because I go on forever with talking about this shit.
It looks like Lo-Fi's in the chat.
Lo-Fi!
Lo-Fi.
Do we want to say our link? Come on, talk nonsense? Although we've been at this for a while. I don't know if you want to keep going or not.
No, we'll probably be shutting down pretty goddamn soon.
Okay,
I do apologize. Honestly, I didn't realize this was going to become a Power Rangers fucking stream. Otherwise, I would have invited Race Jacobson, because he was the Fright Power Ranger for a while.
Yeah, that's okay. But before we get wrapping up, do you think they're ever going to make another Power Rangers movie? Make it a sequel to the one we just saw?
We're supposed to. I thought they had it all set up and everything.
Yeah, I think they will make a sequel to the recent Power Rangers movie, because even though it didn't really technically critically do very well, it did enough to where I think the studio would be willing to push forward with one more movie, just to basically say, like, we kind of hinted at Jason, at Tommy showing up and being the Green Ranger and everything. Might as well push it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so I think that they will, in fact, do the sequel, which will be, of course, Tommy joining the Rangers and all that stuff. I really hope they don't do the stupid controversy that doesn't need to fucking exist. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Shortly after the Power Rangers movie came out, a lot of people were talking about it. I'm one of the few people that's probably going to say, like, it was still a good movie, even though it is technically trash. I enjoy it, at the very least, but it's bad. It really is bad. especially with Poop Goldar. That was
Yeah,
that was not cool.
That Goldar was terrible.
It was awful. But
I mean, if they were to say like this is proto Goldar, and that they're going to like in a future movie bring him back and give him a bare body or bare ape-like thing or ape-like appearance, I'm okay with that. There's no reason why you can't say this is like an early form.
Well, Goldar is supposed to actually be a manticore, not so much just an ape. He's got the wings of an eagle, the head of a lion, I guess you could say even arguably the body of a lion, but the tail of a scorpion and the feet of a goat.
Okay, that's a lot cooler. See, I didn't quite know all that in the English version that we got. They didn't go over all of that. Maybe in the comics or something, but yeah, I didn't know any of that.
Oh no, it's actually quite obvious when you pay attention to his entire structure. Goldar is basically supposed to be an evil manticore, and then his wife, I guess you could say, is some sort of mythical scorpion woman.
Yeah.
I think she's a subspecies of a gorgon or something like that.
Hold on, that you mean that scorpion woman from the show that was actually his wife?
Yeah, in the Japanese version of Zyuranger, which is what Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is based on, that scorpion chick is in fact Goldar's wife, and she has a child at the end of the show.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Or no, maybe I'm sorry. It was Rita Repulsa that actually ended up having a child. I can't remember which one it was, but basically, Goldar and Scorpina are actually together.
Okay.
I found this. It says 11 hours ago that this was posted. New Power Ranger movies are coming, confirms Hasbro.
Well, if it's Hasbro, I'm not surprised because I know they're trying to make a series of movies based on their properties.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
I don't want them to go forward with what the internet was trying to push forward. Like I said, some of the controversy that came out, of course, they were trying to. The progressives were trying to make Power Rangers more progressive than it actually was. And one of the things that they kept screaming about was, this could potentially be the first time ever the most powerful Ranger, the Green Ranger, is actually a woman.
Oh my God.
Just because they gave Rita the Green Ranger suit in the beginning of the movie doesn't fucking mean that we're going to get a female Tommy, which I guess you could see as...
I mean, TOMI.
But no, it's
there is a very purple Ranger in this picture that they have at the title here.
Oh, that particular Ranger is
teeth around her face or his face.
Heart? That's the third season that they did a dinosaur theme with, and I can't remember what it was called because Mighty Morphin Power Rangers followed up with Dino Thunder. And then this one, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, Power Rangers eventually always goes back to dinosaurs.
Well, it's probably just a fan-made thing because it kind of looks like it might be fan-made.
No,
Goldar looks like straight up Goldar over here.
Yeah, that's straight up Goldar from the TV show, and that is obviously the Red Ranger from the movie, the big budget movie that recently came out. But that Purple Ranger there, that's not actually just a fan-created thing. He's a legit character from the series.
Oh, I didn't think it was just
the
a
third
character.
The third dinosaur.
Yeah, I just thought, like, why would they start mixing different seasons of the Power Rangers with the movie? Like, because
Dino Charge,
the Mighty Morphin. Okay, Dino Charge.
Yeah,
I knew several of them had Dino in the title.
No, technically there was only two: Dino Thunder and Dino Charge. They're the only two that actually had the Dino name. Everything else was something else like Wild Force or some shit like that. But yeah, 3 seasons worth, or well, no. Technically, you could even argue 4 seasons worth because season 2 had the dinosaurs as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, multiple seasons of the whole dinosaur theme. And that's because I think Japan, the company that originally does all the Rangers, the Sentai stuff with Power Rangers and stuff, I think they actually are, they kind of have a hard-on for the dinosaurs because they can always at some point bring in a dragon and no one's going to question it.
Right.
Dragon's over. Fucking love that thing. I actually have one in my display case.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Cool.
I'm fucking jealous.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Wait a second. Just give him a minute. He's got to get hard, folks.
I don't count Super Dino Charge as a separate because that was a continuation, bro. But we'll even go ahead and say yes. Technically, now there are three different dino themed show titles for Power Rangers.
Which season was it when they had the cars? Oh, Power Rangers Turbo.
Oh, oh,
Make some
there
noise,
it
Samara,
is.
so your
The
screen gets
Dragon
big.
Sword.
Hey, you, my Dragon Lord. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
it is the classic one. I actually got it at a convention. It was in a toy bin. I think I paid like $3 for the thing, which is pretty good. None of the batteries or anything works. There's no lights or nothing. It's been used. It's been a little worn out, but it still works. Well, it still works as a toy. I can snap it apart and connect it to the old Megazord if I wanted to.
Cool. Oh, that's too cool. Every single time I find one of these classic toys at a con or something like that, they're always so horribly, ridiculously overpriced. Like I have to pay $300 just for a fucking a single piece of the Megazord, and I'm like, fuck you.
You know, you might be in luck, because here's why I was surprised when I just went into my local Walmart, like maybe a week or so ago. But you can find modern day toys that are Dragon Zords, and you can actually find one that actually connects to the other ones. Because remember, Power Rangers came out on Netflix, and that the old show is just as popular as any new show. And actually, you'll see a resurgence in Power Rangers themed toys. You can actually get the Dragons, the one that I have. You can't get the one that I have. You can get a newer one that made a better quality and everything. You can get one for about $100. But it comes with all the joints. It's much more articulate. You can do a lot more with that particular thing, and it does connect to the bigger Megazord, and it is a little bit larger than the one I got. So It's $100, but you get more than what I got with mine.
Talking about Power Rangers makes me want to watch a bunch of different Sentai shows. They are corny. They are cheesy as fuck. The dialogue is so stupid. The plot is ridiculous as fuck.
There was a Spider-Man one.
But I fucking love it, and I want to watch it all. Also, there are some Sentai anime out there. I don't want to count Gantz, even though it technically works.
Gantz, I love Gantz. It's a fucking horror show, but I love it.
Dude, it is so borderline hentai. I don't know what to really call it. And then at the same time, it's basically a horror anime. And I'm just like, I don't know what to. Because there were people fucking in the hallway in season 1 of Gantz. And then we watched them all die at the end. Everyone dies. And then there's a new season of Gantz. And I'm just like, stop it. You're just going to have 2 of them fuck. And then they're going to die.
There's 26 episodes, and then it just sort of ended because they got caught up with the manga, as most animes do. But then they never came back with another season. They were developing a video game that I don't think ever got released, but they did come out with a movie recently. It's on Netflix. It's all CG, and it's just as bloody as everything else. There's just no nudity. All they have. But okay. I mean, it's all bloody and violent. But granted, I don't know if they could have fit into the storyline of that particular movie, because it had to go like pretty fast. But I will let you know that it does take place like years after the anime. But some of the main characters come back. So, yeah.
So a thought occurred to me. I went so deep into the backstories of meeting Walter Emmanuel Jones and the things I know about the actors and Power Rangers, and talking so much about Power Rangers and everything like that. A thought has just popped into my head. There's a reason why I'm single, and I'm pretty sure that plays a huge part in it.
Maybe. Or maybe you're just not trying hard enough, dude.
No, I think I call myself a nerd, but I've always referred to myself as like, one of those nerds that can blend in with regular people and shit. And I could just kind of walk into a room. I could talk about sports with the guys. I could talk about music with the guys, shit like that. Yeah. But then I start talking about nerdy shit, and all of a sudden there's this other side of me that comes out, and I'm just kind of curious. I'm like, who is that person? I swear to God, that guy's never had sex before.
Look, I I've been to enough conventions, and I've always gotten the table and I sell stuff and all that. So I do a lot of people watching, and there's a lot of guys out there who you have to understand that nerd culture is mainstream culture. It is now. And it's been that way for a while. You just didn't realize it, and that's not really that big of a deal. There was a time I used to think that as well, but I'm like, I've seen guys who are more nerdier than me getting hotter ass than I've ever gotten. Okay, I don't think that's a hindrance. If anything, I think it's just lack of trying. Also, considering that marriages are on all-time low, people dating. I imagine there's a lot of thirsty women out there. So your chances of actually getting some is actually a lot better than you think it is.
Oh, we were talking actors and stuff. Did you guys know? Let me share real quick. J.K. Simmons is getting ripped for some reason. I don't know why, but J.K. Simmons is getting ripped, and a lot of people are.
There's a possibility that that's probably because he's going to be in another comic book movie playing a distinct actor.
But Brockus, look, watch. Ready? You're not even going to be able to tell the difference. Like,
oh good God!
If he plays Master Roshi, that'll be awesome.
I will be greatly disturbed and yet at the same time strangely intrigued.
Right. Well, a lot of people have been making jokes about, oh, maybe he's getting buff for another live action fucking TBC movie. And I'm like, oh, I hope not.
No, but me talking about my nerdiness earlier, that was my my Leonard moment from Big Bang Theory. A lot of people don't like this show, Big Bang Theory and stuff, but for the longest time, I always loved Big Bang Theory because it was actually fucking funny to me. And there was this one particular season, I can't remember which one, where Sheldon and Kripke are fighting for a specific office at the college, and they basically decided that how they're going to decide it, the contest they've chosen is playing sports because they're both really bad at sports. And so Leonard, Raj, and Howard are off on the side waiting for one of them to make one fucking basket in a gym. Neither of them can make a single fucking basket, even like an accidental one. They can't fucking do it. And so at one point, Leonard turns to Raj and Howard and says, hey guys, do you remember all those times in high school when we got swirlies because, they made fun of us for being nerds? And they're like, they kind of look at him like, yeah, I get it now. So that was my I get it now moment, because like after talking so much about Power Rangers, I was just like, now that's starting to make sense to me.
I showed those pictures of J.K. Simmons, and the hate camel says it's hard work selling that farmer's insurance.
Oh God,
Yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and shut it down now. Wait, when did we start?
2 hours ago, it says.
Started at 2. Okay, yeah.
It was like 11:30.
We're a little over 2 hours, but we're gonna go ahead and end that shit now. We did not really talk much about the initial topic, which is Buffalo Wild Wings and Tariq Nasheed, because I did the screen share thing, which was pretty much showing what everybody was talking about, which was it was pretty fucking funny.
Dude, I tried super hard to talk about the subject. I didn't know the controversy or anything about that, so I was trying to just talk like, what's your favorite hot sauce?
Well, hey, here's how I look at it. Han Solo basically got hijacked for drama and insanity on Tuesday.
That's
so the Friday stream turned into a nerdy stream with the three of us and Magnus.
That's true enough. After that, I got like 3 invitations to live streams talking about, hey, let's just talk nerd stuff on here. Trippy, which had his channel there, which everyone should like and subscribe to. And then Brockus wanted to do a nerd stream as well, which everyone else should also like and subscribe to.
I checked out you guys' anime stream. That was fun.
Yeah, anime. That was interesting.
I have been watching so much anime lately. Like, I can't fucking stop myself. I even got to catch up on the new season of My Hero Academia the other day, which I now regret because they've only got 8 episodes on the website that I'm using, and I'm sad because I have to now wait weekly. Just like everyone else in Japan and the world and shit like that. And I'm just like, fuck. I'm all the way up to the 8 episodes, but now I have to wait every fucking week for a new goddamn episode just so I can continue to enjoy this new season. And then it's the same thing with High School DxD, season 4 here, High School DxD Hero. It's a new season. I'm watching it. I have to wait weekly now because I caught up to every fucking episode up to this point, and I'm just like, God damn it.
It's I hear what you're saying there. For me, I'm also having a problem because you don't know the details of like My Hero Academia, the movie, because that's also coming over, but when? And they're already announced the sequel. So I'm like, fuck. I want it now. Granted, I don't know if the movies are any good. With anime movies based on properties, it's a little hit or miss.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Dragon Ball Z. I mean, they've had like 8 movies altogether. It was a lot.
I think so.
Not all of them are good.
No, Dragon Ball Z itself has had 15 movies total.
Okay, that's a lot more.
I knew it was really high.
Yeah, because it has the initial 13 movies from technically Dragon Ball the movie. Essentially, it's not really Dragon Ball the movie, but it was a movie that really should have been the precursor to Dragon Ball Z, because it's not tied into anything that happens with Dragon Ball Z at all, except the Kaioken shit.
Well, technically, most of these movies aren't tied into the Dragon Ball Z thing. They're kind of like their own universe.
Well, actually,
15 DBZ movies.
Yeah, the Dead Zone, Resurrection F, and Battle of the Gods are the three only DBZ movies that are officially canonical. And the reason why is because they needed filler between seasons in the shows. So they actually pulled from the Dead Zone in order to actually create filler between the Frieza saga and the Cell saga, I believe.
I mean, they did the whole Garlic Jr. saga, and that has nothing to do with the rest of the show.
Yes, but because it was actually officially considered canon for the show itself, that's why Dead Zone is the only one that is officially considered canonical to the show itself. And then later on, it was deemed canon, Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. You can even see it in the show.
Battle of the Gods, I mean, that ties into the series, but it also, like, they redid the whole movie in the start of the Dragon Ball Super.
Right. They went through it. They changed details and stuff just to keep it fresh, but yeah. You got Dead Zone, World's Strongest, Tree of Might, Bardock. That's 4. Lord Slug, Cooler's Revenge, Return of Cooler, History of Trunks, Android 13, Brawly, Bojack, Brawly's Second Coming, Bio Brawly. They went a little nuts with Brawly.
They really like Brawly. I think
Fusion Reborn, Wrath of the Dragon, Return of the Goku and Friends. And that was the last. Technically, that's 16 movies. And then 17, 18, 19 are Battle of Gods. Episode of Bardock and Resurrection F. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Well, Bardock makes sense. That would be canon, I guess. The Brawly stuff, wasn't that non-canon?
But yeah. None of them were. I mean, with DBZ fans, pretty much none of the movies except for Battle of Gods and Resurrection F.
What website did you go to get that information?
Quora.com? Something. I just typed in how many DBZ movies are there. Now, there's also 2 Dragon Ball movies and 1 GT movie.
Well, we all know GT is bullshit, so don't have to worry about that.
Well, see, the Dragon movie was about Goku Jr. Yeah.
What, GT?
Yeah, the GT movie. It was about Goku's great-great-grandson.
Oh, that one. You're right.
Yeah.
But if that's not canon anymore, I mean, I guess don't worry about it.
Somehow become Super Saiyan along with Vegeta Jr.
So the backstory behind why they did Brawly so many times is because Toriyama to this day still says the most powerful and dangerous of all the Super Saiyans is Brawly. In his mind, Brawly is still the most powerful, which is kind of ironic because if you go back and rewatch the Brawly movie, the very first one, Brawly beats the shit out of every single Z fighter mercilessly, without question, and just consistently. But then he gives them a moments of breathing, to which Piccolo, Gohan, and Vegeta, and Trunks, offer their energy up to Goku, and then he takes Brawly out with one single fucking punch.
Mm-hmm. Right to the gut.
The guy who just ripped apart 5 of the most powerful fighters on Earth gets knocked out by one single fucking punch. One of the reasons why I can't stand Toriyama's writing is because sometimes the motherfucker can't even stick to his own goddamn lore as they're making it.
Well, you have to remember, Toriyama's terrible at being consistent. When they were working on Battle of the Gods and he was drawing out Bulma, he gave her blonde hair. And someone had to remind them that, no, she had blue.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't remember that. And he's terrible at being consistent with any of this. So, I mean, and that I don't know, maybe it's part of his age, but I know that he's always been really bad and loose with his memory with this stuff. And I know that also a lot of things that he created was mostly to save time, because coloring Goku's hair because he's black hair and all that takes up a lot of time to ink. So he created Super Saiyan just so he wouldn't have to ink so much.
Yeah, and he completely forgot about launch throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball Z. Toriyama does actually have a really bad habit of forgetting things in long periods of time.
Oh, yeah.
Toriyama actually is known to make things up as he goes and everything, as you pointed out and stuff. And so, yeah, he forgot that Bulma is not blonde, that she's supposed to have purple hair. And then he gave her blue hair instead. Look at Trunks. He gave Trunks blue hair instead of fucking purple hair or lavender hair, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. And so it pissed off a lot of people because it's like, that was never his hair color. What the fuck is going on? So there's that. But what I mean by sometimes Toriyama can't even stick to his own lore as he is creating it, because I just pointed out, Brawly is mercilessly, unquestionably, just beating the shit out of 5 of the strongest fighters from Earth. 5. 3 of them are Super Saiyans.
All right.
And they are getting beat the fuck up so badly that they can't actually move towards the end of the fight. They're basically about to die. And then that very same unstoppable monster is suddenly stopped by a single fucking punch by Goku. This is the shit I'm talking about.
Bragas, us 3 are going to have to do a DBZ stream someday. We're at 3 hours, dude.
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to send an invitation out to a bunch of people, get Magnus on, because I know he likes Dragon Ball. And
I will send invitations to Sinatra, AP. We'll get Magnus on. It'll be us 3. We'll have a big ass DBZ stream and shit.
Hell
but
yeah.
I love Dragon Ball Z, but one of my favorite things about Dragon Ball Z, I have to point out, is I love actually destroying certain things about Dragon Ball Z. Because it's like you want to immerse yourself into a fantasy world, but I'm going to be that trolley dick who's just like, this doesn't make sense, though. And then you have to sit there and go, shit, it doesn't make sense.
Stop tearing down my fantasies. All right, guys, thanks for coming on to the Kun stream. That's it for us. I'm not reading all the names. I don't care. People were here. We had fun.
Magnus, AP from Gulf City, and Opalescence were also here.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Giddy.
All right, cunts, take it easy and get